and gradually we get into the quarterfinal stage. But before that, today we are going to see contest 5 and contest 6 of the round of 16 where we have got into right now. Now, 4 schools that have made it so far to the quarterfinal stage. They include KNUST Senior High School, St. Louis Girls Senior High School, Kumasi High School, and Church of Christ Senior High School. And today, the first contest that's going to be between Opoku Ware School and also New Edubiase Senior High School. Now, these two amazing schools are going to argue for and against the motion quote. Ghanaians are overly religious. Ghanaians are overly religious, unquote. Now, Opoku Ware is going to argue for the motion, and we have New Edubiase Senior High School going to argue against the motion. And remember, we do this in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of Affairs of Assisted Senior High Schools, and also our proud sponsor, that is Samara Company, producers of Kel Chaco Toothpaste. And like we gauge the mood every time, I'm just ready to hear what the students or supporters of these two schools have to tell us today. And I'm going to go straight to the gentleman from Opoku Ware School. You are in the person. You have 30 seconds. Share with us something.
I am Azuri Hamilton, the protocol prefect and the WDS vice president for Opoku Ware School. We won't talk much. All we want to say is that we've kept in our best, and so they should expect nothing but the best. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to go to the lady also from New Edubiase Senior High School. Would you love to see your school at the quarterfinals?
I would really love to. My name is Musa Nadia, and I don't hold a position, and I'm repping New Edubiase Senior High. What I want to tell my opponents is that they should get ready to get out for us to take a seat, because it's our turn to lead.
Okay, it's our turn to lead. Let's see whether the patrons also agree with what the students have said so far. And I'm just going to still continue from the gentleman from New Edubiase Senior High School. We spoke the last time. What different thing do you have to say today?
I think Opoku Ware, they are the wrong place. This place is not for them. They should prepare for science and math quiz, but not this program.
Okay, your name, please.
My name is Adoko from New Edubiase Senior High School.
Okay, so that's Mr. Adoko from New Edubiase. He says this is not your place. Opoku Ware, do you want to rebut?
Yes. My name is Stephanie Ya Enchua, one of the teachers in Opoku Ware School. Our goal is not just to win the contest, but also to leave an impact or an impression. The team has adequately prepared. We also have our arguments backed with solid evidences. So yes, we are going to win the contest. So watch out. Thank you.
Okay, so watch out for the two schools, Opoku Ware and New Edubiase Senior High School. We'd like to say we are live on Radio Love 99.5 FM, live on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and also on our social media handles. The hashtag remains LUVFMHSD. David Akwete is ready for everybody at the auditorium.
Well, thank you very much, and indeed, very ready for everybody. Please put your hands together for the patrons and the teachers we listened to a while ago. Welcome to day 8 at the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. We began last Monday. Today is Wednesday, so 8 days already. And within the 8 days, we've been wowed by these young minds and brains. They have put it to very good use, and we have really been entertained, educated, informed, and we are indeed happy. Like Patricia said, we're doing this in conjunction with the GS Ashanti Region, also with the Ashanti Regional SRC, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, and this beautiful auditorium given to us by the Christian Service University. Please put your hands together for all of them. And don't forget that people are watching us on television on Joy Learning. People are watching us on our socials, on Facebook, on TikTok and YouTube. People are listening to us on radio on Love 97.5. Show them some love for me as well by putting your hands together. This afternoon, we're gathered to witness contest 5 and 6 at the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate, brought to you by Kel Chaco Toothpaste, and they say happy smile. Now, they are not the only companies that are supporting us to bring to you the Love FM High Schools debate, but they are the title sponsor, and I mean Kel Chaco Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. We also have sponsors like Didi Shito, Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, Wemplex 400, Jackson University College, New Generation Investment Services, Amancia Community Bank PLC, Sepo Mystical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, Otuasican Community Bank, Tamak Questions and Answers Textbook, Orion Science Publications, St. Ben Jewelry, The Sea Travels, Franzacos Limited, and Broadview Christian Academy. Please show them some love for me as well by putting your hands together for all of them. Akateche. Akateche. Well, those are the voices of students from Opoku Ware School. Ebusian 4. Ebusian 4. Ebusian 4. And those are students from New Edubiase Senior High School. In a bit, we'll be inviting the debaters to mount the podium, grab the microphone, and of course, begin the debate. But before then, we have a few rituals that we need to go through. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the chairperson and also the patron for the Love FM High School's debate. Now, as we all know, she's always amongst us. Now, she is an educationist, she is a youth and marriage counselor, a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She is a renowned marriage counselor. And as an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and abroad. Now, she's a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and also former headmistress of KNUST Junior High School between the years 1992 to 2008. Now, she is a co-founder and principal of Jackson University College, which offers a one-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English, guidance and counseling, educational leadership, as well as administration and B.Ed programs. That is not all, because in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Now, her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she is married to Professor Ebenezer Sefoa Jackson, and by the grace of God, they've got 4 adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Please put your hands together for the chairperson, Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. As always, we have a panel of judges already seated. And let me run you through the judges who will be doing justice to the debate for us today. I've missed her, but I'm happy to see her. And I'm talking about Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews. Now, she's been in the education world for over 26 years. Please show her some love by putting your hands together for her. Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews. Akosia, good afternoon to you and welcome. All right, so with that out of the way, I'd also like to introduce you one of our other judges. He goes by the name Reverend Joseph Janvi Blay. Now, he is with the Theology Department at the Christian Service University. Please show him some love for me as well. And good afternoon to you, Rev. And thanks very much for your time. Our lead judge is with us, Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, he's a senior lecturer and former head of the Department of English at KNUST, former head of the Department of Language and Communication Sciences, KNUST. He's a textual analyst. He's here as well this afternoon. Please put your hands together for Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, we always ask him to come on the podium and speak to us, not just those of us in the auditorium, but for those of you watching us on television, for those of you watching us on our socials, and also listening to us on radio. He always runs us through the rules of engagement and how, as judges, they score. There are newcomers every time, so somebody might be watching us for the very first time or listening to us on radio for the very first time. So, Dr. Peter Arthur, please mount the podium right now, run us through the rules of engagement and how, as judges, you score. Welcome him warmly with a round of applause.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Madam Chair. As usual, with your permission, I break down the rules for my dear students. My dear students, we have 5 parameters for this exercise. We have organization and clarity, arguments and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, and role as a particular debater. Organization and clarity. Pay attention here. You have to raise a point, and that point should be a well-researched point. And then you have to be able to distribute the points throughout so that they become meaningful. In writing, we'll call them paragraphs. And in writing, we'll call them topic sentences. So, your supporting sentences, which is supposed to be the explanation and the illustration, have to support the main one. Now, this is what happens. You can raise a point, but your supporting sentences are not supporting the point. And you happen to be a fluent speaker. Definitely. Everybody knows that you are speaking, and yet technically you are off. So I am advising all of you, once you raise a point, make sure that there is that coherence, between the point, the explanation, and the supporting section of what you are saying. The first speaker is taking 15 marks for that, and then the second speaker is taking 10 marks for that, and then for the summary, we are having 5 marks. Arguments and development. Yes, we've been saying it. You have to be able to come up with a good basis for an argument. And then the basis is supposed to generate, so the basis is what we call the deep structure. Then the deep structure is generating the surface structure. So you say it, but then the deep structure should be that if it's got to do with steps, then you follow the steps accurately. If it's got to do with cause and effect, then you follow the causal chain accurately. Now, for the first speaker, we are having 15 marks for that. Second speaker, you're having 10 marks. And then for your summary, we are having 5 marks for that. Effective use of rebuttal. Simple. Listen to what the person is saying. If it's procedural chain, if it is causal chain, if it is whatever, if there's a gap, you jump on that. You understand that? Yeah, you know the deal already. Here, the first speaker is taking 5 marks, and then the second speaker is taking 10, and there is nothing for the summary. But this is what you have to note. If your first speaker comes and he's got a lot of rebuttals, we are going to add that to the second speaker's score. Okay? So, as for the rebuttals, keep on rebutting. And then your transitional devices, be a bit sophisticated. You wait, then you say, then they even hit it. Now, rebuttals. That's too raw. No, be a bit sophisticated. Once you try to speak that and you are rebutting, we know that you are rebutting. You understand? Yeah, other than that, you make it too plastic, and we are not interested in plastic presentations, right? So, we go to presentation style. Now, you have to be paying attention here. 1, your language. Good grammar, good pronunciation, and decorous language. So you don't take, some of you are a bit too aggressive, honestly, in the use of words and the way you approach them and all that. No. This is supposed to be, excuse me to say, a civilized exercise. So avoid words, expressions that are going to offend the other person. That is number 1. Number 2, do not rush us. We don't do pouring here. We don't do recitations here. This is not a platform for nursery rhymes. Then no, we don't hear whatever that you are saying. Now, when you are speaking, appear natural. You take your time, articulate your ideas, articulate your words very well, and we would understand you. Rather than for you to chew, and then you come here, and then you apport, we get that. And everybody who is listening, and everybody who is watching, is saying, this guy is pouring. No, don't come and do that here, all right? The first speaker is taking 8 marks for that, and then the second speaker is taking 5 marks, and then the summary is going for 2 marks. Role as a particular debater. If you're a first debater, the main speaker speak like a main speaker, and then the supporting speaker is only supporting the main speaker. Now let's go to the rules. What does it say? It says that the principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion. That is taking 10 minutes. And the principal speaker on the opposing team presents argument opposing the resolution. That is also 10 minutes for that. And then the second speaker on the affirmative team presents further arguments in support of the resolution and identifies areas of conflict and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. This time, 7 minutes. The second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against this resolution. Also, identifies areas of conflict and then answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. 7 minutes for that. Then the principal speaker on the affirmative team comes along with closing statements to their arguments this time without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. 5 minutes. The principal speaker on the opposing team comes with closing statement to their arguments, again without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttal if necessary. Now note that speakers are supposed to be very audible, and when it hasn't reached your turn, don't speak. You speak only when it gets to your turn. And the first speaker is raising 5 points, and then the second speaker is raising 3 points. Follow me. Every point, you introduce it, 1 mark. You explain it, not any other explanation, another mark. And then you support it, not any other support. We add, so 3. If you have 5, you have 15 here, just like we said. Then you have 3, you have 9. And then the judge is going to use his own discretion to add 1 when he thinks that it's appropriate. Let's go to other external rules. He who asserts, come on, you are old in the business. Respond tenderously. He who asserts, that's right. And in order to establish an assertion, the team must support it with enough facts and evidence. And mind you, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples of visual materials are permissible. And once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use as well. Tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibits to support facts. And then in rebuttals, the debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. The one rebutting must confine him or herself questions and not make statements, comments, or ask rhetorical questions. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline, not to induce, frustrate, or intimidate the opponent. Failure will attract deduction of marks. Now, we talk about time. If you're a speaker, respect time. If you are bailed out, you stop and then move towards your seat. If you fail to follow the bell, marks will be deducted. And then in the event of a tie, the 2 schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 24 hours. And note, the score of one judge cannot overturn the score of the 2 judges. So we have majority decision from the judges, meaning 2 judges score for a school, or unanimous decision, meaning all 3 judges score for the school. Now, if you have any complaint, any issue, any problem whatsoever, you see the gentleman on my left, fine gentleman, just take the problem to him and then he will sort you out completely. Reporting time. The school is supposed to reach this compound 12:30 p.m. No more, no less. If you are late, you'll be disqualified. Okay, Mr. MC, I'm done.
You know when? Well, thank you very much. When Dr. Peter says that, this gentleman to my left, if you have any problem, go and see him. It doesn't bring to me your financial problems, so problems related to the debate. If you come with any other issue, I might not be in the position to help you. Please, do you understand? Thank you very much. Now, like I said a while ago, we have entered day 8 at the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate, brought to you by Kel Chaco Toothpaste, Happy Smile. Now, I'm hoping that all the debaters are in the auditorium and have listened to the rules of engagement very well. Now, Dr. Peter says that he doesn't want anything like plastic presentation where you'll be hitting the table and all. For me, if I hit it, he will not deduct any marks from me. If any of the debaters do, they'll be in trouble. Now, we are live on television on Joy Learning and Joy Prime. We're also live on our socials, on Facebook, on Twitter, also on YouTube. Now, there's a fine lady called Becca. Now, that's Becca back there. She loves to read your comments. So once you're watching us from this beautiful auditorium, drop comments as how you're enjoying the debate and how the debaters are looking, how fluent they are, and she will pick up and then read those comments to all of us hearing. Now, with that out of the way, this is an academic exercise. And like I said, young ones, their minds and their brains are at work. They've done their own personal research, and therefore they'll be doing the presentation accordingly. Now, if you hear the name of an institution mentioned, or maybe your name mentioned, is just to buttress a point. Now, Dr. Peter Arthur also mentioned the issue of time, and that debaters must respect time. So we have the accurate timekeeper present. His name is Kelvin. And so to you, the principal speakers, you have 10 minutes. When you have 2 more minutes on your 10 minutes, you would hear this. And then when your 10 minutes is entirely up, this is what you would hear. For the supporting speaker, you've got 7 minutes. Now, when you are done with 5, you're left with 2 minutes. Again, he will do this for you. And then when your 7 minutes is entirely up, this is what you would hear. The principal speakers will come back to give the summaries. They have 5 minutes. Now, when you have 2 more minutes on your 5 minutes, you hear this. And then when your time is entirely up again, he will do this for you. Thank you very much, Kev. All right, so let's go to the schools who are here present. They'll be singing for us their school's anthem. And then we get to invite their debaters to mount the podium and start the debate. Now, Opoku Ware School, they are for the motion. And the motion is Ghanaians are overly religious. Opoku Ware School, they are for the motion. And their opposing side, that is New Edubiase Senior High School, are against the motion. Aketeche. 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 Please rise. And you're not new to this at all. You're standing right now because you have to sing for us your school anthem, after which we get to welcome your debaters. I've got their names right here in front of me, but I cannot invite them once you have not sung your school anthem. Question is, are you ready to sing for us your school anthem? Yes. They say they are. I like that. I like the response. Francis, are you ready to help them sing? He says he is. So on 3, we want to hear you sing your anthem. So 1, 2, 3.
Opoku Ware School, Amamata, one of the great name for great and mighty God. Blessed by the Almighty God, in the radiance shall we see Lord forward. We shall preserve for God, defense we shall fall. Your place amongst them great to uphold men knowledge, rugged from hallowed, let the hosts and always resonate, let the hosts and always resonate. Let the hosts and always resonate. Let the hosts and always resonate. Let glorious King.
Well done. Please put your hands together for your own self. You sang very, very, very nicely. Whether that was the first service or second service, I wish I was a Roman father. I would have done the sprinkling of the holy water on you. But don't mind me. Please put your hands together for your debaters. Let's welcome them. Ebenezer Segiram is the principal speaker. Prince Ejek Kari is the supporting speaker. And I can see them now. I saw them somewhere last week during the preliminary stage of the competition. They advanced to the round of 16, and therefore they are here, and they're here to compete with New Edubiase Senior High School. Ebusian 4. Ebusian 4. Ebusian 4. Edom 4. Mujina. All right, so they are also standing right now. It's a mixed school, and I've already been informed that their anthem is also ready by the technical team. So if they are ready, they will be singing their anthem shortly. Are you ready to sing for us your anthem? No, I didn't hear you. Are you ready? Okay, so they say they are ready. Francis, if you're ready, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Everybody has a style, but who's the end? The singing of the anthems. And I love that as well from the Ebusian 4. One more time, Ebusian 4. Ebusian 4. Let's welcome your debaters, and they are Osei Alberta, the principal speaker, and Musa Samira Morgan, the supporting speaker. As they descend or come down the aisles, listen, the motion is Ghanaians are overly religious. Opoku Ware School are for the motion, and New Edubiase Senior High School, they are against the motion. Madam Chairperson, can we begin the debate? She's given her blessing. Panel of judges, are you ready? They say they are. Audience, are you ready? If you are ready, please put your hands together and make some noise as we welcome the principal speaker, Ebenezer Segiram from Opoku Ware School, to start the debate.
No religion can live if it opposes reason. The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, adversaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Ebenezer Segiram Kulipu of Opoku Ware School, and I'm here in full affirmation of the motion placed before the House today, quote and unquote, Ghanaians are overly religious. According to official data from the Ghana Statistical Service, Ghana's population is divided primarily into 3 religious groups. Christianity taking 71.2%, Islam taking 19.9%, the African traditional religion taking 3.2%, and the remaining 4.5% belong to other faiths or have no religion at all. As accustomed, I will now define the key terms in the motion. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, overly means to an excessive degree, and religious means of or related to, devoted to religious beliefs or observances. And therefore, to be overly religious means practicing or expressing religious devotion to an extreme degree that it disrupts a person's life, causes social harm, and overrides critical thinking and empathy. And that is what today's motion is accusing Ghana of. And frankly, we agree. We have pastors, imams, and traditional priests all competing for our time, our votes, and our money. We consult oracles before contracts and malams before exams. Religion was meant to be a cornerstone. It is now a substitute for common sense. I will not be surprised if my opponents today will try and shift blame in their arguments. By the end of our debate, you will see that one truth stands tall, and that is the undeniable fact that Ghanaians are overly religious. And here's our reasons for saying so. To my first reason, Ghanaians are overly religious because our religion is overriding science, law, and policy. Over-religiousness will forever act as a crutch on development because it hinders us from examining solutions logically and applicably. Ask yourself, when COVID-19 surfaced, what or who did we ask first? The research, or what our pastors and imams had to say about it? When issues arose regarding LGBTQ+ laws, did we ask ourselves, what does our religion say? Instead of what is best for Ghana? We are prioritizing our religion over what scientific research, logic, and our own laws say. We pray against accidents instead of investing in roads, then pray against rain instead of investing in irrigation. We invite pastors to pray for the city, and Parliament gathers ahead of a World Cup match to pray when they are fully aware that prayers cannot fix the problem in football. The House, we cannot flourish as a nation if religion takes preeminence over our own science, law, and policy. My second reason is that religious activities draining national resources and economy is as a result of Ghanaians' over-religiousness. Part of the reasons why Ghana is constantly suffering is because a huge amount of our money is placed in religious activities. Billions of cedis go into building mega camps, pilgrimages to Mecca, Jerusalem, and shrines every year, while our hospitals lack beds, schools lack labs, and our youth lack jobs. You remember the National Cathedral, right? It's chaired by religious leaders, and it has costed $97 million so far. It began construction in 2021. Now, 5 years later, look at it now. This is what plunging $97 million into religious activities gets us. This, a hole, the most expensive swimming pool in the entire world. My third reason is that Ghanaians are overly religious because our religion has become an avenue for exploitation and manipulation. When a country is overly religious, it is easy for its religious leaders, nay, any leader for that matter, in such a country, to deceive and exploit the minds of its followers. Such is the plight Ghana faces today. Religious leaders and politicians hide behind the guise of religion and make all sorts of claims and declarations saying, God said, when it's clearly to spread their own false propaganda in an attempt to defraud and take advantage of the desperate and gullible citizens in the country. For this, I won't even take you far. We were all here when on 3rd July 2025, Patricia Sieja, popularly known as Agrada, was sentenced to 15 years in prison for charlatanic advertisements and defrauding the members of a church. More so, a religious leader, a Malam by name Sule Anas, was accused and convicted for defiling 2 minors, all on the premise of spiritual cleansing. My fourth reason is that Ghanaians are overly religious because we spend too much time on religious activities. To everything, there is a season, and to every time, a purpose. These are the very words of our scriptures which we claim to live by. But do we though? Maybe in theory, but certainly not in practice. From all-night services to Friday Juma prayers, Sunday services to Easter convention, and to traditional festivals, there is always something religious happening in this country. While the Ghanaian citizen has a job to do, academic feats to achieve, and a nation to develop. A research by the Guardian Ghana shows that Ghana's economic productivity is under threat because Ghanaians are spending too much time at all-night services. The house, faith without works, is dead. And so is Ghana's future if we keep being over-religious. My last reason is that over-religiousness is killing personal responsibility. In Ghana today, nothing is our fault. If we steal, we say it's the devil that led us to. If our businesses fail, we say it's our family ancestors that are prejudiced towards us. And if we fail an exam, we say someone has tied our brains. Everything is a spiritual attack. We are using religion to explain every situation while neglecting taking personal responsibility for our actions. We have turned religion into a full-time job with no salaries. The house, this creates a nation that prays instead of plans, fasts instead of studies, and prays for deliverance instead of working for development. If we use religion to explain every single one of our shortcomings, what then or who are we deceiving? Our religion, our nation, or ourselves? The house. As I conclude, I am not against God, I am not against Allah, I am against excess. And I am not against our ancestors, I am against excess. A country that prays 24/7, but plans 0 on 7 will remain poor 24 on 7. Ghana needs prayer and policy, faith and factories, spirituality and science. And until we get that balance, we will forever remain over-religious. Vote for the motion. Thank you.
Christians call them Pharisees. Islam also say Muta Shadidun. Well, the African tradition also say Nyachumfo. But the question for the house is, are Ghanaians really like that? Asem Sebe, the ever-wise chair, impartial panel of judges, the accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, and all protocols duly observed. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. Today, I am taking you into the stereotype religious era in Ghana, where Ghanaians are often overgeneralized as religious zombies. Ghana as a country explores diverse spiritual expressions which highlight the coexistence of secular values, individual beliefs, cultural practices, and modernity that demonstrate a society not wholly defined by religiosity. With this, the chair, I, Osei Alberta, Principal Speaker from New Edubiase Senior High School, the land of Flaman Alite, gracefully mount this podium to speak against the motion that Ghanaians are overly religious. The chair, allow me to school my opponents here by explaining the key terms in the motion to the simplest understanding of all and sundry. Google.com defines an overly religious country as a nation where religion plays a very crucial role in their daily life, cultural identity, public policy, and law. In these places, a vast majority of the population report that religion is very important to them, and religious texts or institutions heavily shape social norms. And yet, Akatachie, you dare have the effrontery to relate this folly to Ghanaians? Okay, wait for us. Therefore, all in all, the general overview of this motion, but the key words explain process that Ghanaians embody a pragmatic approach to spirituality, balancing faith with modernity and personal autonomy. Yet, my opponents here are claiming that Ghanaians are just talking Bibles with religion. Really? Please, do you understand the motion? Therefore, we will take a peek behind the church pews, ensuring altars that Ghanaians are not overly religious, as my opponents here are claiming. Now, point one, the chair. Ghanaians embrace diversity of beliefs. Ghana is home to a mosaic of beliefs from Christianity and Islam to the African traditional religion. This diversity is a hallmark of our society. And how on earth can one label Ghanaian as overly religious when we embrace multiple faiths and practices? Yay, the chair. How I wish my opponents here will walk through the streets of Bantima. They will hear a choir singing gospel, followed by a Muslim call to prayer, and then a tradition drumming and ancestral chanting, all in the same neighborhood. Now today, Asana is getting married to Asamoah. Tomorrow, Christians hold convention on the same Presby Park where Muslims share a prayer. Today, St. Nicholas asks for a pastor's blessing for the Owa soccer team. And tomorrow, he will go to Comfort Yabi's shrine to ask for ancestral guidance. And I said that is not enough. Even now, Nana Kwaku Bonsam, the renowned ritualist daughter, is schooling at St. Louis SHS. That was not a comedy sketch, but that's beautiful and wonderful diverse tapestry of belief in Ghana to show that Ghanaians are not overly religious. Now, African research by the academic research by African Journal of Empirical Research highlight that religion in Ghana steers daily decision-making. Yet, national life is defined by deep constitutional guarantees, grassroots tolerance, and interfaith coexistence. With this empirical fact, we still maintain our stand that Ghanaians are not overly religious. Now, point two, the chair. Ghanaians are not overly religious because we always embrace civic engagement. Ghanaians continue to have a knack for many civic engagements through community programs and social initiatives. Ghanaians are not overly religious because after Friday Juma and a weekend of church activities, they also roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty on communal labor just to move the country forward. So, does this paint a picture of a country that is overly religious to you? The chair, they are confused. Muslims teaming up with traditional leaders and Christians at Takwa Nswayim on 15 July 2026 to organize a clean-up exercise. It's nothing short of a spiritual workout. Now the chair, I can only imagine the smile on their faces while Christians are singing Ejuma Juma Nyami Ejuma Ejuma Yeje. Oh, and the Muslims on the other hand will also be like Mugo de Allah, and our traditional leaders will also be like Obuma Kuma Obuma Kuma Obuma Kuma. And wow, that is a whole vibe. Now, a community where pastors tell their flock during church service to vote wisely during election. And Imam on the other hand too will also be advising the younger Zongo youth in Accra to mobilize themselves to help upgrade the plight of the Zongo. While traditional leaders also organize community football matches with an aim to foster peaceful coexistence, can't be said to be an overly religious community. The chair, all this prove that Ghanaians' faith and actions go together like banku and okra soup, deliciously inseparable. Now, despite their deep spiritual life, they are not always sitting around waiting for miracles to happen. Nope. But they affirm the saying, God helps those who help themselves with action. So, we still maintain our standards. Ghanaians are not overly religious. Now, 3, the chair. Governance and law contribute to Ghanaians not being overly religious. Policies and laws are designed to prevent religious extremism from taking root, making sure that no single religion hijacks the national narrative. Now, the chair, one key reason why Ghanaians are not overly religious is how the government offices handle the oath taking for the purpose of a more convincing, planned, and unblemished debate. The chair, the house. Let's look at this picture. This is the current president of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, swearing into the oath of office as the president. Now, Akatachie, let me ask you, do you see him holding a Buddha or a Bible? Or maybe you can see he's holding a Quran. The chair, what he's holding is the Ghanaian state sword, traditionally known as Oman Akofena, is the ultimate physical symbol of presidential power, sovereignty, and authority in the Republic of Ghana. Meaning, he swears to serve the country and uphold the constitution without invoking any particular religion. This practice helps prevent religion from dominating public life by promoting neutrality, ensuring that government focus Government functions based on laws and principles, not religious endorsement. So, Aketechi, why this confusion of Ghanaians are overly religious? Won't you repent? Now, point 4, teacher. A big reason Ghanaians are not overly religious is that politicians don't have to prove their religiousness before they get into power. Unlike some other places where candidates might perform their religious rituals or boast about their piety to win votes in Ghana. In Ghana, you can be a successful leader without flaunting your faith, because in Ghana, you don't need to be a saint, a prophet, or a walking Bible to win an election. If you doubt me, go and ask Osofu Chirabosom. She should have been the president by now. The chair, no long toss, from Dr. Hillary Liman to the current president of Ghana, is a mixture of political leaders from diverse religions. So, I would like to ask my opponent this question. Akteche, imagine if only Muslims had voted for Dr. Liman, would he have won the elections? And if only Christians had voted for President Mahama, would he have won the election? This is a testament that Ghanaians are not overly religious. Now, my final point, the chair. Ghanaians are not overly religious because legal rights for gender and minorities do not depend on religious approval, contrary to what happens in overly religious countries. Ghanaians are not overly religious because they understand that fundamental human rights, such as those for women and minorities, should be protected based on principles of fairness and justice, not on the approval or blessing of any religious institution. Now, the chair, go to Afghanistan, Yemen, the Vatican City, and Iran, which are overly religious countries. Women and minorities are not allowed to hold any political power, and you dare relate this to Ghanaians. The chair, if I should tell you the number of women and minorities who hold higher positions in Ghana, in fact, I was saying Krabegu. Now this one, I will not go far. Let's take the current vice president of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ware. It's a woman whose appointment was neither proved by a church, mosque, nor a shrine. This means that in Ghana, gender equality or minority rights is grounded in the idea that everyone deserves respect rather than relying on religious approval or divine permission before we treat people's rights. Therefore, boys, go and revise your notes. In conclusion, the chair, with all these empirical facts and figures raised, should Akatechi still insist that Ghanaians are overly religious? I think they need deliverance. The chair, the house. Thank you.
Come, journey with me today as we walk through the streets of Kumasi, Accra, or Tamale, and your eardrums will tell you just one story. That to your west, a church speaker rings out loud. To your east, the call to prayer vibrates the earth, and 10 meters away, a shrine's libation pours into the soil. We are a nation choking on incense, drowning in holy water, and yet enter any public office and the stench of corruption is at its peak. When religion becomes so obsessed with form instead of substance, it is no longer a bridge to the divine, it becomes a war against humanity. Madam Chairperson, respected adjudicators, meticulous guardian of the clock, friend on the opposing bench, dear listeners, the name still remains the same, Prince Ajay Curry of Opoku Ware School, standing here today not just to support but amplifying the voice of all Ghanaians that true holiness cannot be built on stolen land nor looted money. My people, before we enter into deep ratiocination, let us bear in mind that we are not here today to attack faith nor to dismantle religion. We would never dare. Faith is a weapon of moral redemption, but here in our country, it has been hijacked as a sanctuary for systematic robbery. The problem is not the God we serve, the problem is the hypocrisy we practice. Oh Father, forgive your children, for they know not what they do. My people, look into my eyes today, for you shall join me in paradise. We are not dying, we are just seeing the light. With this, we move to our 6th point, that Ghanaians are overly religious because we chase miracles as a resolution to our problems instead of practical answers. Let's get interactive. Across Christianity, Islam, and the African traditional religion, faith is now a marketplace for quick miracles, empty rituals, and public showmanship instead of actual character. We now place the pictures of pastors and imams on our walls and on our beds just for our fallopian tubes to experience fertilization. We flock to churches for financial breakthroughs, go to shrines for spiritual protection against corruption deeds. Just to go to work the next day to demand bribe and embezzle funds. Let's look at what of our religiousness has reduced us to. People are now chewing grass, taking in petrol that the pastor says is pineapple juice. We are chewing snakes that the pastor says is chocolate. This is not faith. This is a dangerous gamble of personal intent and reason. The house. When this happens, the nation becomes an epidemic for national spiritual manipulation. To our 7th point, the house, we argue that Ghanaians are overly religious because we choose prayer without policy. The Almighty Al-Rahim Abadieh gave us brain, sense, intellect, and reason to build nations, and yet, fellow Ghanaians, the battle is the Lord's. Has become a national cliche, a national something to reject intellectual activities. We now pray for potholes to be filled. We fast for stable currencies. Hold all-night vigils for clean water instead of engineering, instead of implementing sound policies and holding leaders accountable. Let's look at the 2007 water power crisis, where men of God assembled at Akusombo Dam just to pray, fast, chant, and sing for rain just because drought threatened our power supply. But hey, this Akusombo Dam relies on water head-on levels and turbine efficiency. A technical failure requires what? Hydraulic engineers and turbine technicians, not chant and fast. We don't expect God to descend to fix our broken turbines for us. He has given us brains. My people, get up. Go and fix those broken turbines. But this same God, He lives in you. To our 8th and final point, we argue that sacrificing fundamental human rights at the altar of over-religiosity proves how Ghanaians are overly religious. A shrine priestess will kill a chicken, declare that the gods have identified an old grandmother as a witch. She could be yours and she could be mine. She is beaten like sausages, exiled like an unwanted trash to live in a rich camp. This is trial by religious ordeal, overriding the 1992 constitution. A young girl with dreams as bright and beautiful as my face is being forced into marriage just to protect religious integrity. A girl with an epilepsy is being tied to locks, starved like a harvested fish ready to be sold in the market just to cast out demons. The house. This is not religion. This is not true religiosity. This is felon child abuse and a violation of human rights. My people, let's do a small exercise. In my opponent's first argument, they said that Ghana embraces multiple cultures, religion, and others. 2, they said we embrace civic engagement. 3, that Ghana has policy and laws protecting these religions that we have. And 4, politicians don't have to prove to Ghanaians in order to come into power. And then 5, legal rights. My opponent, do you love bird soup? Well, bring out your bowls, because after this speech, the only thing that will be left on your tables is bird soup, because I'm about to kill 5 of the arguments with just a single point. The house, my opponents are completely discussing today the festivities of religion, religious practices, and constitutional articles that already exist. The motion doesn't demand this from you. Prove to us what Ghanaians actually do that are not making them overly religious, not religious festivities and practices that we already have. The house, I can't rebut on things that don't exist. But before I take my seat, they spoke on pragmatism. My people, yes, we go to work, wake up at 4 a.m. to go to work, just to spend our hard-earned income on pastors. This is not true religiosity. This is over-religiosity. We now carry anointing oils and bodre in our dressing bags to hospital to pray for doctors as if God didn't put brains in their cranium. This is not true religion. This is over-religiosity. My people, let us return back to ourselves. For we are home. For you are home. Ghana shall see the light. Prince Ajay Curry has spoken. I bow.
The chair, panel of judges, and all protocols observed, I go by the name Musa Samira Morgan. And per my rule as a supporting speaker, I stand here to buttress my main speaker to speak against the motion that, quote and unquote, Ghanaians are overly religious. The chair, in my presentation, I'm going to base my argument on empirical researches to school my opponents here and educate the entire house on the characteristics of a society that is overly religious. Oh, how I wish my noble judges could give me more time to give more elaborations. However, after my presentation, I hope the whole house will agree with me with my only 3 points that Ghanaians fall short on the characteristics of an overly society, and therefore they cannot be classified as overly religious. Firstly, the chair, in their research, Sacred and Secular, England and Norwich in 2004 shows that a characteristics of an overly society often display a greater religious exclusivism, that is an intolerance towards other faith and belief. And Aketechie, you dare have the effrontery to tell us that Ghanaians are like that? Are you like that? Is there not a mosque in your school? And how does this paint a picture of Ghanaians being overly religious? The chair, in Ghana, all religions coexist harmoniously, unlike some societies where people might see their religion as the only true faith. Now the chair, Ghanaians normally embrace a more inclusive attitude. Now the chair, during the legendary Homowo festivals, all Ghanaians in the Ga traditional area suddenly becomes the most obedient, disciplined, and quiet creatures on earth. The chair, you not hear any hiribaba, hallelujah, hosanna, as the entire entire community collectively agrees to respect the tradition. Also the chair, during Islamic festivities like Eid al-Adha, all Ghanaians, yes, regardless of their religion, transform into the biggest fan of this holiday. And the chair, it is like a national holiday with a sheep meat as a bonus. And with this, Aketechie, you dare have the effrontery to tell us that Ghanaians are overly religious. Secondly, the chair, in Rodney Starr's 1996 sociological work, the theory of religion argues that overly religious societies use strict rules to enforce social conformity. The chair, in these cultures, shared belief acts as a powerful behavioral that controls the shapes and the life, and also limit individual deviance. The chair, this means religious norms become the blueprint for what is considered acceptable behavior, and deviation might attract disapproval or punishment. The chair, let us look at these two scenarios here. In an overly religious countries, women are required to wear head scarves, veil, or long robes in public. The chair, not wearing this might seem as disrespectful or immoral, and also women who choose to dress differently could face social ostracism, gossip, or even legal penalties. The chair, this is because it's based as a fashion police where everyone's wardrobe must be aligned with religious standards. 2, in an overly religious society, public display of affection like holding hands or hugging are frowned upon or banned because they conflict with religious morals about modesty. The chair, I say without provocation that these instances does not apply to our country called Ghana. Now the chair, in Ghana, ladies wear miniskirts and move freely in the country without any pressure. Let us close right now. You see Owa's boys hugging girls here and there. And Owa say, you dare have the effrontery to tell us that Ghanaians are overly religious. Oh, my last point, the chair. Overly religious societies tend to have lower level of scientific literacy and critical thinking, and often favor faith-based explanation over scientific evidence. And Ghana does not fall into this category. The chair, we have a research material from the National Library of Medicine, authored by Jonathan McPeters and Meron Zugamen, that says overly religious people are less likely to choose careers in science because it conflicts in their religion. The chair, it is important to note that this trend does not apply universally, especially in countries that are not overly religious like Ghana. Well, Overly religious regions like the Bible Belt in the USA and parts of the Middle East, North Africa, and Sub-Saharan are reluctant to accept evolutionary ancestor theories because it conflicts with literal interpretation of religious texts, and like the Bible or Quran. The chair, Ghanaians exhibit high level of scientific literacy and critical thinking. Here we are in Ghana, debating on this topic without any fear. The chair, sex education program, freely aired on national television without any divine's permission. Really, does this paint a picture of people who are overly religious to you? The chair, with all these empirical facts raised, I would like to confidently say that Ghanaians are not overly religious. The chair, before I sit, permit me to rebut my opponent's arguments by asking them these thought-provoking questions, and I demand answers from them. 1. If Ghanaians are overly religious as Owas claim, why then do Christians file for divorce after marriage, which is contrary to what their Bible said in Malachi chapter 2 verse 16? For I hate divorce, says the Lord. 2. If Ghanaians are overly religious per their submission, then why do churches and mosques employ security personnel and bodyguards for protection instead of relying on divine fortification? 3. If Ghanaians are overly religious, why do religious groups build hospitals to heal the sick by using scientific medical processes instead of relying on divine healing mercy? And the chair, I want to rebut this. My opponent said Ghanaians spend their time at churches. Okay, if so, what are you doing here? You should have waited in your school, and then you should have called for your fathers to pour Hail Mary on you so that the trophy will be delivered to you. And also, you said Ghanaians call for miracles. Okay, I accept that. Okay, then what? Thank you, the chair.
The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, guests, adversaries. We argue today that Ghanaians are overly religious, and we being for the motion, these were the points we raised. Number 1, Ghanaians are overly religious because our religion is overriding law, science, and policies. Number 2, religious activities draining our national resources and economy is as a result of Ghanaians' over-religiousness. Point 3, Ghanaians are overly religious because religion has created an avenue for exploitation and manipulation. Number 4, Ghanaians are overly religious because we spend too much time on religious activities. Number 5, over-religiousness is killing personal responsibility. And number 6, Ghanaians are overly religious because we choose miracles without morals. 7, Ghanaians are over-religious because we rely on prayer without policy. And finally, 8, Ghanaians sacrifice fundamental human rights at the altar of over-religiosity. Now, let us zoom into rebuttals. Now, before we start anything, my opponent, your arguments are full of ad hominems. We are here to argue against, you are here to argue the motion, not argue against us. And now, the motion, you stood here and said, and talked about religions coexisting harmoniously. This already exists in our RME books. Do you expect Christians to fight with Muslims before you can prove that Ghanaians are over-religious? And you also said, the motion expects us to talk about religions existing harmoniously. We are here to debate on excesses, not religions coexisting with each other. And you talked about religious dressing. How does religious dressing prove that Ghanaians are not overly religious? Yes, you talk about we wearing miniskirts and arguing and going out and hugging other people. But we do that and still go to church every day. The House, as I conclude, our stance has been very clear since the beginning. We are only fighting the excess in religion. Religion is important, but it should not be the fundamental basis and reason for which we do everything as a country. Religion is meant to guide us, not control us. Thank you.
The chair, the House. These are the points we raised to defend our side of the motion. 1, Ghanaians embrace diversity of beliefs, from Christianity and Islam to the African traditional religion. 2, Ghanaians are not overly religious because we always embrace civic engagement. 3, policies and laws are designed to prevent religious extremism from taking root in Ghana. 4, a big reason Ghanaians are not overly religious is that politicians don't have to prove their religiousness to get elected into power. 5, Ghanaians are not overly religious because legal rights for gender and minorities do not depend on religious approval. Now the chair rebuttals. The chair, I think my opponent here do not understand the motion, but I will make it clear to them. They came here and said and talk about excessive religious activities. Oh, Ghanaians engage in numerous religious activities, no doubt, but does it necessarily mean that we are overly religious? Religious activities are motivated by financial interest. Events like crusade, revivals, and massive religious activities are offering a promise of divine blessings in exchange for monetary offerings, which overshadow genuine religious activities. Now today, Reverend Obofor is selling a Buramunsiu. Tomorrow, Reverend Obinimtu is selling divine stickers. Is this genuine spirituality or just an orchestrated scheme to siphon money? The chair, they also talk about religious education, RME, okay? And that is a contradiction. Do we become overly religious just because we learn about different faiths? Or does this education alone help us to understand and respect different beliefs? Shouldn't the home of overly religious people be the primary place for moral and religious guidance rather than the school system? If we are overly religious, why would the school reteach what Sunday school teachers have already dealt with? Or haven't Pastor Esiama tell you the importance of the VLC session? I bet he hasn't. The chair, Ghanaians only value spiritual literacy and moral grounding, but not overly religious. They also talk about Christians call for miracles. Okay, what is the essence of that sick bay in your school? You can call your fathers to pour Hail Mary and St. Angelos on you. Meanwhile, when you are sick, you go to the sick bay just for healing. Please, be serious and repent. The chair, they also said that we spend our money on pastors. How many people have you seen spending their money on them? Please, that's overgeneralization. If you don't understand the motion, kindly come to us. We will teach you. In fact, the chair, the house, I bow.
Aketeche. Ebusian 4. All right, it's okay. So the two schools have done justice to the motion. They have debated on it. And they, by having debated on the motion, have given a task to our judges to score them on their performance. In a bit, the results will be ready, and we shall share the results with you here in this beautiful auditorium at the Christian Service University. And for those of you watching us on television, especially on Joy Learning, I'm hoping that you have enjoyed the first contest of the day. The second contest will come away shortly. It's going to be between St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School and, of course, Ibadur Rahman Senior High School as well. One of the things that caught my attention during the debate was Mungo de Alai. Yeah, all right, so don't mind me. Let me tell you about Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. That gives you a happy smile. Now, it's been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary protocols and, of course, approved by the FDA. Now, the constant use of Kel Charcoal Toothpaste gives you fresh breath, whitens your teeth, reduces dental plaques, prevents cavity, and makes gum healthy and strong. Now, Kel Charcoal Toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from age 6. Get a pack at your local supermarket today. Now, it is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. You can call them on 0246 864-798 or 050-145-4462 for bulk purchase and for enquiries. Now, Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, like we always say to you, happy smile. Many thanks to the Christian Service University. Now, they are admitting students for the 2026-2027 academic year. For over 50 years, Christian Service University has been training ethical and visionary leaders who are making a difference in Ghana and beyond. Apply now for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs, including their flagship Doctor of Ministry in Christian Leadership and Management. Gain holistic education grounded in Christian values with opportunities in scholarships, entrepreneurship, and employability for a better future. Log on to www.csuc.edu.gh. You can find Christian Service University at Star Junction, Santasi. Christian Service University, the university of choice. Many thanks also to Jackson University College. Now, they offer master's programs in English and Maths, education, guidance and counseling, and educational leadership, as well as administration. They also offer bachelor, post-diploma, and postgraduate programs in education. Sign up for their short IT courses in digital marketing, software engineering, cybersecurity, web development, data analytics, and more. Call Jackson University College today on 020-126-0290. Becca and Patricia, how you guys doing, by the way?
Very well, David.
You enjoyed the first contest of the day?
Of course. Of course.
You did.
I think I really want to extend the debate on social media because the engagements are crazy.
We need to speak to our judges, of course, the chairperson, to see if that is possible.
Absolutely.
But what is possible right now is for you to share some messages with us.
Definitely. And sharing the messages, we'd like to say thank you to Amatia Community Bank PLC. Since 1983, Patricia, I wasn't born. That is how long they have been serving everybody. Rebecca, don't look at me with that eye. Hello. Amateur Community Bank PLC has been serving individuals, institutions, businesses, government and private sector workers with safe, secure, convenient banking services and also solutions. We operate every kind of account and give you the most flexible interest rate loans. Enjoy our digital banking services today by dialing *992# or visit our newest branch at Mansuke Niago, just around the police station. Our headquarters is also at Antwerp Room. Find our other branches at Mason Kwanta, Manswe Dubia, Manso Datano, Bekwai, Anyan Kwanta, Akrokari, Roman Hill, Asim, Ahonjo, Atinka Junction, Santase, and also Sofo Line. Amase Community Bank, yes, we are your reliable financial partner.
We'd also like to say a very big thank you to J.M. Ado and Sons for bringing us Oneplex 400. We all know worms can be harmful to our health, and we need Oneplex 400 to eliminate all kinds of worms in our bodies. Oneplex 400 is a sweet, easy to chew tablet and can be taken at any time of the day. It is suitable for children above 1 year. Breastfeeding and pregnant mothers must consult their physician first before taking any dewormer. Get Oneplex 400 at any pharmacy, and for bulk purchases, contact JM Ado and Sons.
Now you need to make your way to Best Brain Publications at Pankrono right now if you're a parent or a school or a teacher, because they have books that will lay the foundation right for your ward at the very basic level. So if you're looking for quality NACA and GS approved English, science, maths and computing textbooks for your wards, please make your way to Best Brain Publications right now at Pankrono Kumasi. Best Brain Publications, securing tomorrow's academic well-being today.
Now, New Generation Investment Services NGIS offer managed investments, also assist with pension planning and manage Tier 2 and Tier 3 pensions. Secure your future with our Enidaswo Mutual Fund, NGIS Market Fund and private funds. Speak to any of our seasoned advisors about your investment goals and aspirations today. NGIS is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. NGIS, achieving excellent returns on your investments.
Now for your wedding, engagement and promise rings, please visit St. Ben's Jewelry today for quality, elegant, affordable white gold, yellow gold, rose gold and silver rings. Get also your earrings, your bracelets, your watches and all your accessories at St. Ben's Jewelry. Now we'll polish your old ornaments for you and offer you flexible payment plans. Locate us today in Kumasi at Amakum, right opposite the Edward Nazar building, and also find us at Doom. We are in the Chelsea House, right opposite the Standard Chartered Bank. St. Ben's Jewelry, just dream it and it will be done.
Write effortlessly with Seppo Mystical Original Pen. Enjoy smooth, precise, smudge-free lines every time you write. Whether it's a script, a poem, or that love letter to a loved someone, please make sure you make that writing with Seppo Mystical Original original pen. Get yours today in blue, black, or red. Locate Seppo products at Paul Sego Lane here in Kumasi and Okaishi, Accra. Seppo Mystical Original Pen, your number one choice for premium writing.
Now, for parents and teachers who are always worried about the results of your BEC words, please worry no more, because I'm presenting to you Tama questions and answers textbooks today. It has been packed with the current BEC past questions, answers, marking schemes, exam tips, and strategies for all major subjects. Okay, Tama questions and answers textbooks will help boost the confidence level of that word of yours preparing for BECE. Locate us in Accra and Kumasi.
Bigo, everywhere make hot but still man for enjoy. For parties, funerals, weddings, family day outs, and any other social gathering, grab your favorite Bigo drink today. Bigo comes in cola, grape, orange, coconut, pineapple, apple, lemon, and cocktail flavors. Get a chilled, affordable bottle of Bigo at any supermarket or in traffic. This is another quality product from Trillium Industrial Company Limited. Bigo, we say big refreshing moments.
Now it's time for you to stop watching travel videos and start living in them. Kanketi, the Sea Travels. Experience the wild beauty of Kenya and the glamour of Dubai from September 10th to 16th, 2026. Or you get to join our China Canton Fair Business Expedition from October 26th to November 9th, 2026. We will handle all your flight reservations or ticketing, hotel reservations, breakfast, visa support, airport transfers, tours, and tourism tax, all stress-free at the Sea Travels. Locate us in Kumasi at Ahojo Atenga Junction, right opposite the DHL office.
Ochia Sekai Community Bank has the right account for you. We have current, savings, fixed deposit, Susu and infant savings accounts. Enjoy affordable salary, Susu business, funeral, group loans, and more at low interest rates. We also offer Western Union, eSwitch, iTrans, mobile money, and Ghana Pay services. Locate Ochia Sekai Community Bank at Kofiase, Mampong, Ejura, Sepebo Krum, Abofo, Makro, in Kinkenso, Swami Market, and Dr. Mensa. Ochia Sekai Community Bank, your savior in community banking.
Now, if you're looking for a school that will make your child feel very, very responsible, confident, knowledgeable, grounded in godly values, and also excel at their exams, then I am recommending that you take that child to Broadview Christian Academy today. Now, we combine all of these amazing things I mentioned with Christ-centered character development. Our carefully selected learning materials also make lessons engaging and very, very easy to understand. From a modern ICT lab with 24/7 internet, ultra-modern library, well-ventilated classrooms, dedicated teachers, and more, we provide the foundation your child needs for you. Locate Broadview Christian Academy today off the Kote Road, directly opposite the KNUST Business School gate. Broadview Christian Academy, that is the place where godly character meets academic excellence.
Now, from little learners in crèche to confident scholars in primary and JHS, Orion Cyrus Publications provide the books they need to succeed. Our colorful storybooks, engaging workbooks, and curriculum-approved textbooks make learning fun and also improve academic performances. With books in English, math, science, history, coding, robotics, and more, we help children learn, grow, and excel. Find Orion Cyrus Publications nationwide.
I would like to say thank you to Trillium Industrial Company Limited, of course, for bringing us Vena Mineral Water, nature's finest. It's been recommended by the Ghana Medical Association. And now what we are selling on the market is a 750 ml medium bottle, okay? So when you go to any supermarket or whether you are in traffic, make sure you are asking for the 750 ml Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited.
Now, Patricia, before we go, let me introduce you to Rizzo Gari from Franzacos Limited. From the heart of Ghana, Rizzo Gari is made from carefully selected cassava, traditionally processed and hygienically prepared to deliver the authentic taste and quality you can trust. Rich, nourishing, and conveniently packed in easy to open resealable pouches, Rizzo Gari is perfect for home, school, work, or as a quick and satisfying meal. We also have Rizzo Shito, Enomansa Fufu flour, cassava flour, Zimo cereal legume mix, and cassava chips, as well as starch. Get them at shops nationwide, and for bulk purchases you can contact Franzacos Limited. And again, we say a very big thank you to Didi Shito. We say homemade taste. Now this one, wherever there's Gary, you should always have Shito, and Didi Shito is recommended just for you. David?
Well, Becca, I know that you're in a rush to go do a few other things, but before you get off screen, How's it feeling like for you when you have to read comments from social media?
Oh, it's interesting. The fire is on and it's blowing up, and I just can't wait to read the comments that I'm receiving.
So what do you want to say to people who are watching us on YouTube, people who are watching us on, Facebook or even on TikTok?
Keep the comments coming through and I will be sure to read them all.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for Patricia and Becca for me. And as we normally do, we want to take a 5 minutes break. When we return, context 6 will come your way. Now that contest will be between St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School and Ibadur Rahman Academy. It comes your way in 5.
From across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debates championship. Novice Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Novice Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022. The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debates championship. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022. The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debates championship. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco to Praise High School's debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs, and the Regional Directorate of GES. Northern Calchaco Praise High Schools debate, trumpeting the voice of young ones on issues of national interest. Powered by
when a civil servant is caught in corruption, he is either suspended or dismissed. But when a political leader is caught, all we hear is, oh, we are setting up a committee and let us allow investigations to work. And before you realize, their names have been cleared quiet.
My opponent obviously generated their point from Alibaba.com. Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil servants and not the politicians, as reported by Transparency International in the year 2022.
The battle of brilliant ideas is back. The 2026 Northern Cal Chaco Toothpaste High Schools debate is finally here, bringing together the brightest young minds from across the Ashanti region to challenge opinions, defend facts, and inspire a new generation of leaders. Watch students from some of the region's finest senior high schools go head-to-head on thought-provoking national and global issues as they battle for glory, pride, and the ultimate debate championship. Northern Cal.
So the prefect says the energy in the auditorium is low. Show the prefect that the energy is not low. Ibas. 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 We're still there. I hear you. Venator. Anumarum. Venator.
Otherwise, they would have discovered that 74% of all corruption cases in Africa are as a result of civil service.
Hello and welcome back to the Christian Service University, where we are having the Love FM Kel Chaco Two-Face High Schools debate here. My name is Patricia Almabo. So we have seen the end of contest 5 today. We're moving to contest 6 for today, and contest 6 is going to be between the Hunters of Souls and, of course, we're talking of St. Hubert Seminary and also Ibadur Rahman Academy. Now, these two schools are going to argue for and against the motion. Quote, the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is had abroad, unquote. We have St. Hubert Seminary arguing for the motion and Ibadur Rahman Academy going to argue against the motion. If they win, they are going to join the likes of KNS High School, St. Louis Girls Senior High School, Church of Christ Senior High School, and Kumasi High School to the quarterfinal stage. But for now, let's speak to the students, of course, right now. You can see them in my shots and find out what different thing they're going to do this time around. Then I have this gentleman here from St. Hubert Seminary. Share something with us today in 30 seconds.
My name is Redwell, as you know. I'm from St. Hubert Seminary SHS. And since St. Hubert is a formation center, we do with sincerity and truth. And I know God is with us. Everything will be possible. And we do with discipline. We are not going to cheat. We are going to try our best. And we know victory will be ours. I trust in St. Hubert. Venato, Animal Room.
Okay, I trust in St. Hubert. And sweetheart from Ibadur Rahman Academy, say something also to me in 30 seconds.
Okay, so first and foremost, as I already said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is our sufficient for us and the greatest disposer of our affairs. So I'm saying that we are not here to boast, because greatness does not need to shout. We are here and we know that we came here with confidence and that our spirits are unshakable, and that we came here with no arrogance, because we know that this competition is good and Allah is on our side. So we entreat on everything that is going to happen.
Okay, so let's see how things go. I'm going to go back to St. Hubert. I have the patron here. You also have 30 seconds to say something to us.
Okay, so we have already met them during the independence debate. We saw the performance they put up, and so we are coming with so much respect for them. We are expecting a very good contest, and we hope that at the end, St. Hubert will come out successful.
Your name, please.
Elijah Esioredu.
Okay, that's Sir Elijah from St. Hubert Seminary. I'm going to end finally with the gentleman from Ibadur Rahman Academy.
I'm Amin Muhammad Sabato. Just so we also respect them so much. But like I said the very first time we came here, the contest is not done outside here. It is done on the platform. Let everybody enjoy the fun.
Okay, let everybody enjoy the fun. And talking of that, we are still live on Radio Love 99.5 FM, on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and also on our social media channels. Thanks once again to the GES, the ARSRC, Charles, and our proud sponsor, Samara Company Limited, producers of Kel Chaco Two-Face. David, please take it away.
Well, thank you very much. And obviously, the two schools have mutual respect for each other. St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School, Ibadur Rahman Academy. Please put your hands together for your students and, of course, your patrons who engaged with Patricia Amabos a while ago. Well, contest 6 is just about to begin. And it is the 8th day of the 2026 edition of the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools Debate. My name is David Akwete, and welcome to the contest taking place here at the Christian Service University. Like Patricia said, we're live on television, Joy Learning. We're equally live on our socials, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on YouTube. We are equally live on Radio and Love 99.5. People are listening, people are watching. Please show them some love. Put your hands together for all those who are watching us and also listening to us. For those who are on social media, please, Becca says she wants to read your comments, so keep them coming. Write very good English and let her enjoy reading those comments. This is the 8th edition of the Love FM High Schools Debate. We began some, 8 years ago, and when we began, Tia Mas won the very first edition. The following year, it was won by St. Jerome. Then we had St. Monica's winning the 3rd edition. The 4th edition was won by Kumasi High School, who have already qualified for, the quarterfinal stage. Then we had Prempeh College winning the 5th edition. The 6th was won by Kumasi High School again, and then last year we had Prempeh College winning the 7th edition. Unfortunately, they were eliminated yesterday. We wish them well and hope to see them next year. This year's event is brought to you courtesy our title sponsor, and that is Kelchako Toothpaste. It's from Samara Company Limited. It's also brought to you by Didishito Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, Oneplex 400, Jackson University College, New Generation Investment Services, Amanse Community Bank PLC, Seppo Musical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, Otuasi Can Community Bank, Tama Questions and Answers Textbooks, Orion Cyrus Publications, St. Ben Jewelry, The Sea Travels, Franza Course Limited, and Broadview Christian Academy. Please show them some love as well for me. Put your hands together for the sponsors. We'd also like to say a very big thank you to our partners in the Ashanti Regional Education Service, to the Conference of Heads of our sister secondary schools, and also the Ashanti Regional SRC. Show them some love for me as well. Contest 6 is just about to begin. The motion is the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad. Well, St. Hubert, they are for the motion, and Ibadur Rahman, they are against the motion. At this point in time, our panel of judges are seated, the timekeeper is seated, and of course, the chairperson is equally seated. Let me introduce them to you, one after the other. Now, the chairperson is an educationist. She's also a youth and marriage counselor, a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She is a renowned marriage counselor. As an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and abroad. Now, she is a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and headmistress of KNUST JHS between the years 1992 to 2008. Now, she is a co-founder and the principal of Jackson University College, which offers a one-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English, guidance and counseling, educational leadership and administration, plus a B.Ed programs. Now, in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Now, her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she's married to Professor Ebenezer Asifua Jackson, and by the grace of God, they have 4 adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Now, anytime I say that her passion is to instill moral training in the youth in order for them to be transformed in society, many of us don't capture it on television, but listen, she engages all the students who are present when the debate is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairperson, Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. This year, I've been very nice, so she has several nicknames, the Margaret Thatchers, Abrewise, and all that. I haven't used any of them. One more time, say Abrewise Margaret Thatcher. Say Abrewise Margaret Thatcher. And that is her nickname. She loves that nickname as well. Now, with that out of the way, let me introduce you to the panel of judges who are also seated and ready to listen to the debaters and score them accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, please, Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews is one of our judges. She's got 26 years in education. Show her some love. Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews, good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for joining us. Also with us is Reverend Joseph Janvi Blay. Now, he is with the theology department here at the Christian Service University. He's got several years of lecturing here as well. And our lead judge is Dr. Peter Arthur, a.k.a. PRO, a.k.a. Empiricism. Now, he's a senior lecturer and a former head of Department of English at KNUST, former head of Department of Language and Communication Sciences, also at KNUST. He's a textual analyst. He's here as the lead judge. A round of applause for the judges. Thank you so much. Now, having introduced the judges to you, I'll hold on the name of the accurate timekeeper for later. Now, let me invite to the podium to address us Dr. Peter Arthur. His job for now is to run us through the rules of engagement and also how the judges score as they listen to the debaters. If you are ready to listen to him, put your hands together for Dr. Peter Arthur.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Madam Chair, as usual, I have your permission to explain all the rules. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 parameters for this exercise, and they are organization and clarity, argument and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, and the role as a particular debater. Now, when organization and clarity, we are expecting you to raise a well-researched point. Now, listen to me carefully. Once you raise the point, then you are going to use supporting sentences, what we call major supporting sentences and minor supporting sentences. Some of them being explanation and others being illustration or examples and stuff like that. They are support. Now, the moment you start speaking and you start raising the points, by the second point, we know whether you understand the topic or you don't. Because if the points you are raising are not aligned with the topic, and I've seen that a lot since we started this debate, don't fall into that trap. That is what we call the dilemma of the judge. Because when your supporting sentences do not support the topic you have raised, we don't know where to place the mark. So always make sure that there is that thread from your topic sentence to your explanation to your illustration. And if you can add conclusion, better. Now, for the first speaker, 15 marks. Second speaker, 10 marks. And then the summary is 5 marks. Argument and development, we all know. Get a strong basis and allow the basis to generate the argument as it comes. But make sure from one step to the other, from one area to the other, is well knit, and that you don't leave anything to chance. Because if you do, your opponent is going to use it against you. So the first speaker is also taking 15 marks for that, and the second speaker is taking 10 marks for that, and then the summary is going for 5. Effective use of rebuttal. This is reasoning time. Look at the reasoning progression of what your opponent is saying. And if there is any gap in the progression, pounce on it. And then let us know exactly what that gap is, explain, and then tell us why it is wrong. If you can do that at any given 1 point. Mind you, the first speaker can start rebutting right away. You assume that the person is going to say this. If you do that, that's why we have 5 marks there. So you see that the first speaker is taking 5 marks, and then the second speaker is taking 10, because it is the duty of the second speaker to do the rebuttals. Now listen, when it gets to summary, there is no mark there. So if the first speaker can come and then stop punching holes in what the opposing speaker was saying, we'll still give marks to that. Then you go to presentation style. Watch here. Your body language, your eye, your facial expression, your movements, your gesticulations, they are all communicating. So be mindful of that. And then watch your language. Be civil in the use of your language. And then make sure your grammar is correct. And make sure your pronunciation is correct. Today, fortunately, our speakers have been very articulate. Articulation is not rushing. Taking your time and then speaking. Making sure there's something we call word boundary. Making sure that at any given word boundary, you give indication that this is a word boundary and this is what follows. And that is why when we are writing, we use the commas and the semicolons and all that. Let us feel that the way when you are speaking, and speak with dignity. Good. The first speaker is taking 8 marks for that, and then the second speaker is taking 5 marks, and then the summary is going for 2. Roll up as a particular debater. First speaker, speak powerfully. The burden, in fact, the burden of winning falls on you. If you flop, the whole thing goes down. The second speaker is only supporting you. Now let's get to the rules. We say that the principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion, and that takes 10 minutes. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team presents argument opposing the resolution, and that also takes 10 minutes. The second speaker on the affirmative team presents further argument in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. This time, 7 minutes. And then the second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. That also goes for 7 minutes. Then the principal speaker on the affirmative team comes with closing statements to their arguments without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals, if any. 5 minutes. The principal speaker on the opposing team comes with closing statement to their argument without adding any new information, and seizes the opportunity to respond to rebuttals, if any. That is also 5 minutes. Note that when you are speaking, make sure you are audible, and that if it is not your turn, don't speak. Yes. Therefore, don't interrupt anybody while the person is speaking. The principal speaker, as we say, is raising 5 marks. That means that you introduce the point, 1 mark. You explain well, another mark. And then you support it, another mark. Again, make sure your topic aligns with the supporting sentences so that you don't confuse anybody. Now, the problem is that the speaker can be very fluent and yet not coherent. And that places a lot of burden on the judges. Now, other external rules. And when I say it, you respond, right? He who asserts, wonderful. And in order to establish an assertion, you know the drill. The team must support it with enough facts and evidence. And mind you, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples of visual materials, they are permissible. And once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use as well. And then tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibit to support facts. In rebuttals, the debater rebuttant may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. And the one rebuttant must confine him or herself to questions and not to make statements, comments, or ask rhetorical questions. Just note that supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline, and they are not to induce, frustrate, or intimidate the opponent. Note that, because if you fail to do that, marks will be deducted from your score. As a debater, you must respect time, and when you hear the bell, no matter where you have reached, stop and march towards your seat. If you fail to do that, again, marks will be deducted. And then in the event of a tie, the two schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 24 hours. Now note, the score of one judge cannot overturn that of the other two judges. And that's, we have what we call the majority decision, meaning 2 of the judges score for a school or the unanimous decision, this time, all the 3 judges score for the school. You see the gentleman on my right, on my left. Okay, but when I turn here, you are on my right. If you have any problem, any issue, any whatever, just contact him and he will sort you out. And with that, I've done my job. At this time, I'm not done.
Yeah, I know you're not done. I know you're done with your job, at least for now. Please show him some love for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In a few minutes, the second contest of the day, that will be the 6th contest at the round of 16 stage, will begin. Listen, I saw these 2 schools debate during the preliminary stages last week. They were awesome. They were amazing. They were great. So don't be selfish like I always will say. If you're watching us on television, call a friend, text a friend and say to that person, tune in. It could be radio. It could be on our socials because you are just about to be wowed. At this point in time, all that we'll be doing here this afternoon is an academic exercise. It's about the brains and the intellect and, of course, the knowledge that they've acquired, and they'll be exhibiting it whilst they debate. If your name is mentioned in any way, if the name of your institution is mentioned in any way, it is not to run you under a bus or to demean you in any way. No, you've done your research and they felt that mentioning that institution's name or your name will buttress their point. At this point in time, let me go to the accurate timekeeper whose name I didn't mention earlier. His name is Kelvin, and he's keeping the time for the debaters. Like Dr. Peter Arthur said, the principal speaker has 10 minutes. When you have 3 minutes on your 10 minutes, you hear this. Now, when the time is entirely up, Dr. Peter Arthur says, stop what you're doing. Don't talk. In fact, he would have loved to add, don't move, but he can't add that. But stop whatever you're doing and take your seat. The supporting speaker has 7 minutes. When you have 2 more minutes more to go, you would hear this. And when your time is entirely up, this is what you will hear. You are tempting me, you get me. The other bit has to do with when you come for your summaries. Now, you have 5 minutes. When you have 2 more minutes on your time, you will hear this. And again, when your time is up, you hear that. You just want to say so best said, or Namakao, and you're here. Please put your hands together for Kelvin, the accurate timekeeper. Thank you so much. Venato. Venato. One more time. Venato. Please stand. Francis to my left has your anthem on his PC. You were here with us last week. Some of you have been here before. You know the drill already. You are standing because we want to hear you sing your school anthem, after which you would invite your debaters to get onto the podium, and when it's your turn, they debate. Your school is for the motion, so you're standing. If you're ready to sing your school anthem, just say, yes, we are ready. Are you ready? Yes, we are ready. Thank you very much. Francis, are you ready as well? He says, yes. So on 3, you get to sing for us your school anthem. So here we go on 1, 2, go. Thank you very much. You also want to do your thing now, or you want to do it later? You want to do it later? I hear you. So then put your hands together and master the energy within you. Make some noise as we welcome your debaters. Kakari Felix is the principal speaker, supported by Gilbert Autry. All right. There they are. Okay, so we'll move on to the opposing side. That is Ibadur Rahman Academy. Ibas. Ibas. One more time. Ibas. They stay focused. Please stand. And as you stand, clear your throat and get ready to sing your school anthem with all the energy you can muster. Yeah, sing with pride, sing with joy, sing with a smile on your face. Are you ready, Ibas? Yes. Francis, they are ready for you. So on 3, you sing for us your school anthem as well. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Ibadur Rahman, our motto, song. We shall be the nation's pride. We shall work from dawn to dusk to uphold justice and integrity with all our might. Allah give us strength. Forward we go. We go, Ya Allah, forward we go, with the unity of purpose, with the servants of Allah. Forward we go, yes, we go, Ya Allah, forward we go, with the unity of purpose, with the servants of Allah. Ibadur Rahman, we shall be our parents' pride. We shall overcome obstacles, be responsible citizens, to be the nation's pride. True nobles, we will be, so shall it be. We will join and sing. Forward we go, yes we go, Ya Allah. Forward we go, with a unity of purpose, we the servants of Allah. Forward we go, yes we go, Ya Allah. Forward we go, with a unity of purpose, we the servants of
All right. That was nicely done. Listen, clap for your own selves for singing your anthem so nicely. And then make some noise. Let's welcome your debaters. Taslima Audu is the principal speaker. Haria Masawood is the supporting speaker. And there they are. Bespectacled, mounting the podium now, walking towards their seats, and just about to take that seat. Now the motion is, the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad. St. Hubert Seminary. They are for the motion. Ibadur Rahman are against the motion. It's an intellectual exercise. Madam Chairperson, do we have your blessing? She's giving the go-ahead. So let's go to St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School, where Ejako Kekari Felix is on standby to begin the debate. Please, put your hands together for him.
Greetings to you, the ever-wise chair, bold and impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Representing St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School, I am Ejako Kakari Felix, the proud principal speaker, speaking undeniably in full affirmation of the motion on board today, and I quote, "The possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad," unquote. The chair, the house. Before I proceed to lay down my salient points, permit me to elaborate on the key terms in the motion for the better understanding of my opponents and the house at large. These key terms are possibility, better life, and that of going abroad. I will be doing this with the help of the Cambridge Dictionary. Impartial panel of judges. Possibility is defined as the chance that something may happen. Now, better life is also defined as a desirable standard of living. Ladies and gentlemen, going abroad is simply defined as traveling outside one's country. All in all, the motion conveys one single message, and that is the chances of you making it in life in Ghana is higher than you deciding to leave the country. And we say that the motion about today is true due to the following points that I'm about to set in place. My opponent, I urge you to buckle up your seatbelt because this is going to be one bumpy ride. Now, we set sail with point one, we argue about local success stories. Impartial panel of judges. In arguments like this, it should center around Ghanaians who built real empires in our world, not actually on theories. Impartial panel of judges. My opponent here may argue that you would have a better shot at actually making it in life if you travel outside of the country. But now, I urge them to polish their lenses and clear their ears because I am about to expose a bigger picture to them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Joseph Sian Ejapon, the man who was given 3 Ghana cedis by his own mother to actually start up a printing press. It sounds funny, doesn't it? Now let me tell you another funny thing. He actually made it in life with that little capital. Impartial panel of judges. He formed the Jaspon group of companies that has created over 250,000 jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, the big question you and I should be asking ourselves is, did he actually need a passport to achieve that? Of course not, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to make matters more worse from your opponent by even adding up the information of Daniel Macaulay, also known as Magnan. Now, he started on by selling kerosene on the streets of Ghana. But then in 1999, he was able to make it big by establishing the Magnan Shipping. Impartial panel of judges. Unfortunately for him, he went bankrupt. Now, people would have the assumption that he would decide to travel outside Ghana's borders with a little that he had to make his historic remontada. That is to say, his historic comeback. But that was never the issue. He stayed right here in Ghana and he rebuilt his empire again. Now, the Magnan Shipping speaks for itself across the whole of West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, all case dies the moment I mention the name Andrew Techi Apia, the man who decided to actually travel outside of the country with the aim of going to make it in life, but failed, just like my opponent's arguments are going to fail their school today. Impartial panel of judges. Now, he failed, but the moment he decided to return back to Ghana, somebody say Merlin, Merlin indeed. Just like that, he was able to form ZPay. ZPay, it is one of the biggest platforms for mobile networks in our continent. Impartial panel of judges. All I'm trying to say is very simple. These are not bedtime stories or the sweet talks boys would actually use to collect girls' numbers. No, they are rather real life stories that tells us one simple truth. Let me dumb it down for you to understand my opponents. Success no day abroad though, it day right here for Ghana, and that is why we opine in favor of the motion. Point 2, we agree about citizenship, giving you something that no visa in this world can. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask all of you here a simple question. Dr. Peter, would you be willing to build your house on land you will be told to leave tomorrow? Basically, nobody would. But that is how living life on a visa actually is. Impartial panel of judges. But if you were to stay here as a citizen of Ghana, it is a completely different case. Yes, because the land that you stay on is yours for good, ladies and gentlemen. It is even backed by law, according to the 1992 Constitution of our country. That is Article 21, Section 1J. It gives you something that no visa in this world can give you. It gives you immunity from expulsion from Ghana, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say you go outside of Ghana's borders and you are making it big there. You know, you have a nice paying job. Little by little, you are making ends meet. But then, unfortunately, you are deported. Now, tell me that is a sign of success coming to you from the Almighty Allah. You are just being delusional. Let's say the house. Your stay abroad solely depends on one single thing, and that is your job. A job that you could actually lose tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. But if you are to stay here as a citizen of Ghana, that fear simply doesn't exist. Nobody is going to deport you for being unemployed. Yes, and that is one key factor about life. We call it security, the state of feeling secure. And with that, we simply say that the former is better than the latter. The house. Point 3, we argue about availability of international market startups. Impartial panel of judges. Staying in Ghana doesn't necessarily mean staying without opportunities. No, there are so many organizations that are ready to give you startup capitals to start your own business. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet some of these interesting organizations. The house. We have the African Finance, we have the Affirmative Finance for Action for Women in Africa, which provides up to 5 billion. Yes, did you hear that? $5 billion solid dollars for women who actually want to start up their business in Africa. Impartial panel of judges. That is not even all. We can also make mention of the global innovation funding that provides up to $15,000 to $15 million for people who actually have innovation solutions to developmental challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many organizations that we could make mention of, but the message I am trying to convey is pretty simple. Now tell me, if you think we have so many organizations like this that are willing to give you up to 5 billion, 15 million, 15,000, and a whole lot of amount, don't you think you can actually start your own business by yourself? All you need is the business idea to start, and that is all. And that is why we say that your chances of making it in Ghana is higher than you going abroad. And share the house. Point 4, we argue that relocation capital is better invested right here in Ghana than spent abroad. Impartial panel of judges. Let's talk about one thing that all women love: money. Real life money, what it can buy based on where it is actually spent. Impartial panel of judges. Almost every single year, a lot of Ghanaians invest into japa, that is to run away or travel outside of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, now you can spend up to $35,000, and if you are to go to Canada, you will spend up to 45,000 Canadian dollars there. Ladies and gentlemen, all of that money swallowed up by your visa alone, and the moment you arrive in those countries, your payment of taxes and rent will actually cause you to go into survival jobs. That simply tells you one single truth, that is, your money was only able to buy a stamp on your passport. Let's share the house. But let's be strategic and actually invest into something else. Let's invest into Gary. Yes, Gary here, where according to the University of Ghana has the highest profit share, leading with 58%. Now, Gary here in Ghana costs about 200 to 500 Ghana cedis, and then with premium charges, you can make up to 1,200 Ghana cedis. Yes, that means that your money will keep on overflowing, just like Sika Gary, to the house. Now, analyze this. Spend almost 15,000 Ghana cedis on a journey that ends there, or spend it on Sika Gary, which one do you think is wiser? After you are done answering that question, you will know why we affirm the motion. Point 5 and my final point. We argue that there is no such thing as free money abroad, but only expensive dreams. Impartial panel of judges. The perception that when you travel outside of the country, it's your passport to prosperity is nothing else but a facade. Let me tell you one thing. Bigger salary doesn't mean better life. What really matters is what happens after the cost of living. The house. If you are to stay in New York, your luxury expenses will cost you about $3,185. But if you are to be in Accra, you could use just $789 to actually sustain yourself in terms of luxury. Impartial panel of judges. That is what confuses a whole lot of Ghanaians. The pay slip is actually misleading. You will get paid with a lot of dollars, but by the time your taxes are slapping you on the left, and then you also have your own life expenses giving you a heavy knock on the right, and then you also have rent fees also slapping you on the other side, you realize that you actually have nothing left to save. Now, let's put aside that and talk about life. Life isn't just about money. According to research that we are about to present to you, it stated that 47.7% of people who travel outside of Ghana experience forms of loneliness, and then we have 61% of them who actually experience a form of isolation. Now, is life only about money? Of course not. Life talks about family, belonging, and that is why we say that the data here tells us that a passport is failing in that aspect, and that is why we affirm the motion today. Impartial panel of judges. I know my opponent's arguments are going to center around the fact that you get paid with bigger salaries, but like I stated earlier, those salaries will be deducted in terms of your rent and taxes, meaning you have less to save. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end here, but I tell you that my second coming is just around the corner. I'll be back for you. The chair, the house. I bow.
Dr. Atta, a farmer does not harvest more simply because the land belongs to him. He harvests more when the conditions allow his crops to flourish. Likewise, being a Ghanaian does not automatically mean Ghana provides the highest possibility for us to flourish our potential. The most dangerous lie you can tell a young Ghanaian today is opportunities are waiting for them simply because they were born here. But when they look around, they see unemployment, underemployment, high cost of living, and limited opportunities. Fellow Ghanaians, passports does not create prosperity, neither does patriotism create jobs. With this, greetings to the young-looking chair, bold impartial panel of adjudicators, our lovely guys from South, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Representing Ibadur Rahman Academy, I am Taslima Audu, the principal speaker, to firmly oppose the motion, quote, the possibility of making life better in Ghana is higher than going abroad, end of quote. Adjudication panel, key terms. Possibility means a chance that something may happen. Making life better means improving the living standard of somebody through income, education, education, employment. Abroad is when one crosses its country's boundary and living in a foreign country. Sources: Cambridge Dictionary. Ladies and gentlemen, one cannot do a comparative analysis of a country for improving its citizens' better life by comparing its growth to a weaker nation. Therefore, for today's debate, we define abroad principally as established destinations such as Canada, UK, United Nations, and other advanced countries where Ghanaians migrate in search of better life fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, we concede that yes, people succeed in Ghana, that yes, there are opportunities in Ghana, that yes, Ghana is our home, that yes, not all people who migrate abroad succeed. But how likely is it compared to the alternative available abroad? With this, to our first point, panel of adjudicators, Ghana's employment market does not give the ordinary young person higher probability of success. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with the basic necessity of a better life, a job. Without income, how can a young person earn? Without employment, how can a young person earn? Without income, how can a young person afford food, pay rent, and build a future? The logical chain here is that high employment means fewer opportunities to unstable income, leading to reduced economic independence, resulting to lower possibility of building a better life. This is not merely our opinion. The Ghana Statistical Service reported in the first 3 quarters of 2025, national unemployment average 12.8%, whilst unemployment among people aged 15 to 35, 21.9%, representing about 19.5%, were classified as neither in education, employment, no job. And somebody would tell them, your chances are better here. Lovely guys, better based on what? If the local level cannot absorb the already trained people, why should we pretend that the geographical mobility will not increase their perspective? To our second point, panel of adjudicators, a better life is not measured by location. It is measured by purchasing power and economic security. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition tells you can earn money in Ghana. Of course, you can earn money in Ghana. But the question is, the income generated can provide a better living standard. Ladies and gentlemen, if wages remains the same, whilst cost of food, transportation, and essential services rise rapidly, then simply having an income does not mean having a better life. The World Bank knows that Ghana experienced severe inflation, with inflation reaching 39.2% year-on-year in 2023. It's putting significant pressure on Ghanaian households. The opposition cannot say we cherry-picked because inflation is still a canker Ghana is still fighting. Let us ask ourselves, why are millions of dollars flowing back to Ghana from Ghanaian living abroad? Because sometimes migrants use the stronger economy there to build a better life for the people at home. To our third point, panel of adjudicators, abroad provide access to large and more diverse labor markets. Opportunity depends not only on how talented you are, but whether the economy has the demand for what you can do. More diverse economy means more industries and specialized jobs, leading to greater matching between skills and employment, resulting therefore into greater possibility of professional advances. Ladies and gentlemen, a graduate may possess a degree in specialized area, but if the economy has a limited demand for that particular skill, it cannot generate its economic value. Ladies and gentlemen, the OECD study Ghanaian immigrants found that Ghanaian migrants strongly represented professional employment in several OECD destinations. The example is Canada. Almost half of Ghanaian immigrants found there are found in high-skilled labor occupation. Ladies and gentlemen, this gives us a very important lesson that your qualification does not only give you opportunity. The economy in which you deploy that qualification matter. Ladies and gentlemen, talent is like a seed. You may have a perfect and healthy talent, but if you plant it in a poor soil, it limits its growth. Therefore, migration sometimes means moving the seed to a better soil. To our fourth point, panel of adjudicators, The opportunity gap is not confined to elites alone. The proposition may try to make this debate feel narrow, as though it's consigned only graduates in white-collar jobs. Adjudication panel: Ghanaians who take up even mini jobs abroad, such as construction, hospitality, care work, frequently out-earn the same labor at home, simply because wage floors and currency strength differ. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk about elites returning home, my opponents have forgotten about how nurses and doctors, being the same professional, migrating in their numbers. Join me, watch this video.
The Nurses and Midwifery Council says it has conducted and presented its research findings to government on the mass exodus of health professionals in the country. Currently, data from the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association indicates more than 5,000 nurses and other health personnel have left Ghana for greener pastures abroad over the last 3 years due to poor conditions of service.
Oh, Mother Ghana, these are not uneducated people. These are well-trained professionals who knows Ghana's system and opportunities available abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, doctor, whether we look at the informal majority or the formally trained personnel, the same still gap still appears. Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurship and access to capital abroad provide the possibility of better life than Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has young people with excellent and brilliant business ideas, but there is no capital. Now compare that individual to another entrepreneur in an environment where there are deeper capital and specialized services. Now, Matthew, this gives us Ghanaian history, gives us Ghanaian example. Help me watch this video. Nana Kwame Bediako Chada built his business experience and accumulates capital in United Kingdom before returning to Ghana to develop his real estate business journey. Dr. Osei Educhum studied and worked in United States, built his professional experience and institution before contributing at home. Thanks to him for his free SHS policy. Look, Ibrahim Mahama studied and gained work experience in United Kingdom before returning to Ghana, establishing engineers and planners. Their journey illustrates how international education and professional exposure can become part of foundation to entrepreneurship in Ghana. The house, which of you seated here could not wish this for themselves? I can see the smiles on everyone's faces already. See, we do not need everybody in the country to travel before we realize this possibility. Yes, a Ghanaian can succeed in Ghana despite the difficult system, but when an environment provides you with greater capital, support system, stronger technology, the probability of expansion is greater. Before I resume my seat, allow me to clear the air. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent talk about availability of international markets. Impartial panel of judges, this is appeal to fear. The proposition emphasized on cost of risks to migration whilst ignoring the potential return. Yes, migration costs money, but so does building business in Ghana, obtaining degree, buying land. The price of a ticket tells you how much it costs for you to travel, not how far your life can take you. Ladies and gentlemen, they also argue that life is about family and belonging. Dr. Atta, this is an appeal to emotion. The proposition wants the judge to think about mothers, fathers, siblings, and friends, and therefore conclude that Ghana gives the better life. But let us ask ourselves this question: can emotional support pay university school fees, create enough job, and reduce inflation? Distance may separate families physically, but poverty can separate families economically. I rest my case.
The standing chairperson, I guess I was
Ibadur Rahman Academy began in 2013-2014 academic year. Impartial panel of judges. It is surprising that the mission of this school is to provide quality education and responsible citizens. Yet they think that Ghana, including their school with this mission, cannot provide better life than going abroad. Madam, be guided. The standing chairperson representing St. Hubert this afternoon, I am Gilbert, the supporting speaker for the set motion before the guest house today, and I quote, the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad, unquote. The chair, per my role as a supporting speaker, I'll simply proceed by adding organized facts and why Ghana is a better option. Doc, taking all these into concepts. Point 6, we debate that many Ghanaians in diaspora still choose to invest here. Impartial panel of judges. Now, Madam Chairperson, many Ghanaians in diaspora still choose to invest here. Yes, a shared house. I'm not good at singing, but let me sing this song. Moma yankana fieni fio. Yeah. Sakwe yechu. Moma yankana fieni fio. Impartial panel of judges. Whenever this song is sung, whenever this song is sung, it implies that indeed they've not just missed home. No, but it is a desire that one day they will go and invest in Ghana. My opponent is bumping their head as if you are affirming their stance. No, it's because they have recognized that Ghana is a place where wealth can be converted into long-term prosperity and security. Impartial panel of judges, as Dr. Peter always say, he who asserts must prove. You assert and you prove. Now let me prove. Impartial panel of judges. Mr. Michael Adams relocated to Ghana and said he has wasted his 20 years life abroad. The chair, to avoid hasty conclusion and for clear arguments and development, please let's all watch this video.
I know you're mainly into catfish, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are based, what you do as well?
Yeah, well, I reside in the Netherlands. Yeah, so that's where I live with my family, and then I work there also.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a passionate farmer.
Sure.
Yeah, so catfish is what I mainly do.
Nice. But prior to leaving to the Netherlands, like, what time did you leave?
Ladies and gentlemen, now the question is, after gathering all the money in Netherlands, what prevented him from doing the fish farming there? Who stopped him? The streets answer is strict laws, strict policies, difficult policies, and difficult taxes. Impartial panel of judges. Now, if you all will travel abroad and come and build life in Ghana, then Reverend, don't I have the moral justification to stand on the legal ground and assert that the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad, my dear? Of course I do. With this, we move to our 7-point chair. We debate that Ghana can provide a more complete fulfillment of human needs. Impartial panel of judges. Allow me to be a social studies teacher for today. We did not limit the motion to financial stability alone. No, the chair, the house. We borrowed the Abraham Maslow needs of theory. The chair, this is how it is arranged. From the physiological needs to safety, from safety to love and belonging, from love and belonging to self-esteem, from self-esteem to finally self-actualization. Doc, as you always say, Madam Chairperson, let me break down the rules. Doc, let me break down these needs. Now, regarding physiological needs, Ghana have access to food and sometimes free accommodation. Now, regarding safety, let's all look at the US-Iran war ongoing. Let's just look at the Russia-Ukraine war ongoing. Let's also look at the North Korea and South Korea war, which is about to start. From this analogy, it is crystal clear that indeed Ghana is safer. Now, impartial panel of judges, regarding love and belonging, we have a lot of relations, from our family to our classmates, to our church mates and our co-attendants. Now, regarding self-esteem, the racism towards black man make Ghana a better place. The outstanding chairperson against house. Now, we did not talk about self-actualization, because after achieving all these needs, that is only when a person can be a self-actualized person. This is also one of the process that my opponents came to condemn, that because of our mothers, we shouldn't go and succeed in we might want to come back next time. The outstanding chairperson, the chair, if my opponents have drove all the way from Boabai to Santasi just to contradict this story, then I told them that citizens of Boabai are ever ready to celebrate their victory. For them, not taking any place in today's contest. Madam, with this, we move to our last and favorite point. We contend that better life is built on freedom, and Ghana provides it better. The outstanding chairperson, in abroad, you are just a guest with an expiring date, but Ghana, you are home with birthrights. Impartial panel of judges. Now abroad, impartial panel of judges. Now abroad, the chair, the house. Now in ladies and gentlemen, now in abroad, the chair, the house. they share the house. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now in abroad, they share a work visa is tied to one employer. Lose that job and your legal right to stay become at work. Impartial panel of judges, they share report shows that one HB holders in US, one HB holders in US, the report shows that one HBU holders in US have received deportation notice sometimes after the layout and sometimes during the 60-day grace period. Now, let's talk fast here. The clock is still ticking abroad. Impartial panel of judges makes that 60-day window and then penalties follow. 180-day can also trigger a 3-year re-entry ban and the house. 365 days can also trigger a 10-year ban. Now, in 2026, the US premium processing fee rose to $2,965. Impartial panel of judges. In Ghana, no citizen pays to keep their right to stay home. No, it is simple. Ghana, abroad, you need stamp. But Ghana, you need courage. You can quit. You can start business. You can switch careers. That's entrepreneur. That freedom. Build entrepreneurs and leaders. Ghana, our land of freedom. Oh wow, the skeptical faces are in abundance. Ladies and gentlemen, now at this juncture, allow me to refute some points by my opponents. My opponent asserted that there is unemployment in Ghana. This is a non-sequitur fallacy. Now, the existence of abroad does not mean that not automatically creates a better life. The motion is not asking where more job exists. No, the motion is asking where an individual has the greatest realistic opportunity to secure a better life. My opponents again alluded that people are leaving Ghana. This appeals to popularity fallacy. Now, people leaving Ghana does not prove that people leaving Ghana does not prove that they have found better life. No, my opponent is confusing migration with success. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent again talked about education. Better education may not necessarily translate to a better life. In fact, education can also make someone a clever devil. Impartial panel. Thank you.
Matthew, a fish may be an excellent swimmer, but its ability to survive greatly depends on the type of water in which it swims. Likewise, a person's potential is influenced by the type of environment in which it operates. Ladies and gentlemen, potential is universal, but opportunity is not. Where the environment provides greater resources, wider opportunity, the probability of progress naturally increases. Sahus, let's not confuse patriotism with opportunity. They have given us reasons as to why we should love Ghana. Oh goodness, we do love Ghana, but today's debate is about determining why the possibility of making a better life higher. On this note, the chair adjudication panel, man of the pendulum, distinguished guests, high call debaters, fellow ladies and gentlemen, all the protocols really acknowledge. Good afternoon. Representing Ibadur Rahman Academy, I am Khairia Masood, the colleague speaker to firmly oppose the motion. Quote, the possibility of making a better life in Ghana is higher than going abroad. Unquote. Panel, my elegant principal speaker has already laid a formidable foundation to our case. I therefore proceed with additional points to buttress our stance. Now, point 6. The scale of Ghanaian immigration itself is evidence that people have the greater ability to perceive or have the opportunity to perceive elsewhere. Let us examine some behavior right now. When thousands of people repeatedly make the same economic decision, should we simply dismiss their collective experience? Likewise, the Ghana Statistical Service in 2021 noted that many Ghanaian immigrants recorded 293,416. Also, the GSS reports found that the main reason for migration is about economic, specifically seeking employment. Ladies and gentlemen, also the World Bank noted that 44% of Ghanaians want to migrate permanently, with a desire among young and unemployed people. Sahus, we are not saying that 44% of Ghanaians migrated. That 2, everyone who migrates becomes successful. No, we are saying, the pattern of migration reveals that the portion of people who migrate becomes successful. They have the higher possibility. Again, Panel, think about this. Many people sell properties, save for years, travel tons of kilometers. Why? Because opportunity has a pull, and then nobody should romanticize migration. It has a cost. So as a host, if the expected benefits were consistently lower than staying, why would so many rational people continue to pursue it? Dr. Arthur, to our 7th point, family responsibility can actually make migration a pathway to a better life. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now bring this debate from statistics to the ordinary Ghanaian household. Mommy, imagine a Ghanaian woman who has spent everything to educate her son. Now he graduates, gets a job, but the salary barely covers food, rent, and transportation. Now his family needs support, and then he receives opportunity and then travels abroad. His family's life has improved drastically. This is not merely a migration, that is economic mobility. Sahus, we are not saying that there are no such opportunity in Ghana. Today's case about determining its possibility is what we are about to question today. Matthew, the chain is higher earning opportunity abroad leads to increased disposable income, which brings greater capacity to support dependents, hence making a better life. And remittances demonstrate that this is not an imaginary phenomenon. The World Bank records personal remittances received by Ghana at around 3.6% GDP in 2024, while the World Bank of Ghana recorded 1.49 billion US dollars, billion dollars in the net private remittances inflow in 2025. The chair, Sahus, when a Ghanaian lives and earns abroad, the benefit does not stay at the airport, it crosses the border. Now to our final point, Dr. Arthur. But social protection and security against shocks in advanced country abroad creates higher possibilities of better life than Ghana. Adjudication panel. A better life is not merely measured by how you can rise, but how securely you are when life suddenly pushes you down. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine two workers both loses their jobs in the same month. However, the first worker lives in an environment with stronger unemployment and out of work benefits mechanism. The second worker, zero unemployment insurance. The question is not simply who was hard working. The question is what happened next. Now, the first worker may have access to institutional mechanisms that provide at least some support while searching for another opportunity. The second may be far more dependent on personal savings or family members. Ladies and gentlemen, we acknowledge the importance of NHIS SNIT, but however, take a look at this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, behind every appeal is a worker without a safety net. When illness strikes, survival should not depend on public appeals. This is the human cost of weak social protection.
Oh goodness, Mother Ghana, these are Ghanaian workers. So how many times do you see this on the screens of people in the advanced country? Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why we are here, to dismantle this motion. Now, permit me to enter the theater room and surgically rebut the beautiful assertions dressed in grammar by our lovely boys from Sahus. Now, our opponents asserted that if we all travel outside Ghana, who will make Ghana? Panel of educators, this is a total false dichotomy. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition creates only two options: stay in Ghana and develop it, or leave and abandon it. It's a force. A Ghanaian can migrate, succeed, and earn abroad, can still contribute massively to Ghana. Also, they asserted that many Ghanaians in the diaspora made it here. Panel, this is a hasty generalization fallacy. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition points to the existence of business in Ghana and concludes that Ghana therefore offers a higher possibility of economic success. See, we should not confuse Ghana as a business with Ghana offers the best environment for businesses. The existence of a marketplace does not guarantee the access of customers. Again, they asserted that the availability of markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposition emphasizes on the cost of migration while ignoring the potential return. Yes, migration costs much money, but so does building a life in Ghana or a business, and also obtaining a university degree, buying a land and starting a fund. The price of a ticket tells you how much it costs to travel. And also, thank you, panel of adjudicators.
Ladies and gentlemen, my second mountain of this podium is not to prolong this debate with new rhetoric, no, but rather to put the pieces of threads of argument made by my supporting speaker and I. A good presentation, as we always say, deserves a good summary. Point 1, we argued about local success stories. Now, 2, we argued about citizenship, giving you something that no visa can. Point 3, we argued about availability of international market startups. Point 4, we argued about relocation capital being better invested here in Ghana. Now, point 5, we argued that there's no such thing as free money abroad, only expensive dreams. Point 6, we argued that Ghanaians in their diaspora still invest here. Point 8, we argued about freedom. And finally, point 8, and finally our last point, we argued that Ghana provides more fulfillment for humans better than that of abroad. Impartial panel of judges. Before I dive into my opponent's strong yet baseless arguments, permit me to actually show you this video.
But we want to come back to Ghana. We are begging, please help us. We are from we that are from Ghana. We came here. That was June, and we came here. We are like we get here like 1.5 months. As we came to Jordan to work, no work for us. They are treating us badly. They are treating us badly. No food for us to eat, and where we have been sleeping is not good. And everywhere we go, where we are now, everywhere there is camera on us. We can't do anything. The way they are treating us, we can't record, and no food.
Ladies and gentlemen, this came from the horse's own mouth. It is clearly telling you that the idea that when you travel abroad, it is heaven there is actually nothing else but a bedtime story. Impartial panel of judges. At this juncture, I would like to make a promise to my lovely opponents. I promise to only break your argument and not your hearts. The chair, the house. With that, let me move into the baseless argument that was made by my opponents in their presentation. Now, in their statement, they made mention that abroad consists of UK, Canada, and whatever. But now, let me make this correction. Abroad in this context means all countries apart from Ghana, not just considering that. Impartial panel of judges. They argued about unemployment. Now, tell me, aside from Ghana, aren't there also other countries that also have unemployment issues? Of course there are, and that means the argument there doesn't even hold water. They also argued about economic stability. Impartial panel of judges. Let me make this clear. Economic problems is actually what paves way for people's success. People who have the idea to solve problems are the ones who actually make it in life. And with that, we say that their argument there simply doesn't hold water. Now, they also argued about it provides access to large labor markets, ladies and gentlemen. What about the heavy taxes that they actually charge you with? Impartial panel of judges. All your heavy labor that you actually do there will amount to nothing because you are actually going to get a little out of the work that you actually did, ladies and gentlemen. They also argued about entrepreneurship. You argued that there is no capital, but that is actually false. In my presentation, I clearly remember presenting evidence that stated that there are so many organizations that are willing to give you up to $5 billion or $5 billion for you to actually start up your capital. Impartial panel of judges. Impartial panel of judges. My opponents also argued that we can pay. They argue that you traveling outside actually means you can pay your bills. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you one simple question. Who pays your school fees or pays for your upkeep? Is it yourself? Of course not. It is your mother. And they are trying to say that if you travel outside of the country, we are trying to emotionally blackmail that your mothers are the ones who provide for you. But basically right here as we are, your parents are the ones that provide for you. And that is why we opine in full affirmation of the motion. They also argued about migration. Yes, it may open. Migration is actually true. People travel to outside the country. But now let's look at the positive side. It actually opened doors for people who are actually sitting there unemployed, and that also gives them a chance to also make it in life. And then when they go out there, it puts pressures on those other countries. Impartial panel of judges. They also argued about salaries. As I said earlier, salaries are always going to be deducted by your taxes and rent. So that means it doesn't hold water. Now they argued that if you travel outside Ghana, they argued about rehabilitation of migration. They said that we argued about rehabilitation of migration, but that was never the case. We never said that. Again, they also argued about we traveling outside Ghana. We can make it. They argue that we can travel outside of Ghana and make it at our point, but we also never said that in our argument. Impartial panel of judges. I would like to end there, but now let me end with a simple advice for you. I admire when underdogs come to the main stage to compete with the big dogs, but do not bite what's more than what you can chew, because we the hunters are a handful. You can play with your mother's breast, but you can never play with your father's balls. And with that, the chair of the house, I bow.
they say a strong case deserves a good conclusion, and a good conclusion deserves a moment of reflection. My supporting speaker and I raise the following points to support our stand. 1, we establish that Ghana's employment market does not give the ordinary young person higher probability of success. 2, we argue that a better life is not measured by location, it is measured by purchasing power and economic security. 3, we argue that abroad provide access to large and more diverse labor markets. 4, we argue that the opportunity gap is not confined to elites only. 5, we argue that entrepreneurship and access to capital abroad provide the possibility of a better life than Ghana. 6, we argue that the scale of Ghanaian immigration itself is evidence that people perceive greater opportunities elsewhere. 7, we argue that family responsibility can actually make migration a pathway to a better life. And 8, we finally argue that social protection and security against shocks in advanced countries abroad creates higher possibility of better life than Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I dismantle their claim break by break and expose the gap in their reasoning. 1, they show a video where 2 ladies were stranded in abroad and asking for help. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cherry picking fallacy. Why should you pick 2 people stranded in abroad, leaving thousands of people who have succeeded in abroad? Despite that, this is a documentation issue. Most of the people who went to abroad have visa issue. We have tourist visa, study visa, visit visa. Most of them take visit visa to abroad in the sense that they want job. Ladies and gentlemen, if there are 2 people stranded abroad, how many people are stranded in their own motherland? They also argue that there is availability of international markets. This is a his generalization. The proposition points to the existence of business in Ghana and conclude that Ghana therefore offers the higher possibility of economic success. C, the existence of entrepreneurship does not mean entrepreneurship is easy or more profitable in Ghana. Ghana business face challenges including access to finance, high rate interest, unreliable infrastructure, taxation pressure, inflation, and limited purchasing power. They also argue that Ghana economy is better. This is ecological fallacy. Their reasoning is Ghana grew by 6%, therefore Ghana offers greater possibility. We ask, for whom? See the house. Economic growth is a macroeconomic indicator. The motion concerns individual life outcomes. These 2 are related, but they are not identical. Ladies and gentlemen, before I resume my seat, Sahus, lovely guys, Mrantepa, any other fallacy, any other takashi, any other luku, I guess there is none. With this, we tell the house that oh, hallelujah. With this, we told the house that, ladies and gentlemen, Ghana is our home, but home should not become a ceiling. We can love Ghana without limiting ourselves to Ghana. We can build Ghana from abroad, or build ourselves abroad and bring the benefits back home. Ghana may be home, but home is not a prison, and borders are not boundaries to human potential. I rest my case.
At work right now. What are you saying? Come to stay or to go? Stay or go? Is at work right now. What are you saying? Come to stay or to go? Stay or go? Well, someone saying go, someone saying stay. And even students from the the other schools like, Opoku Ware school and the other one, the new Edubiase, they were all excited. They were enjoying the debate as well, as much as we enjoyed theirs. Please put your hands together for all of yourselves. Debaters, you can, go join your colleagues out there. Now, before Patricia takes over from me, let me share this very important information with you. It is from Kel Charcoal. Now, Kel Charcoal has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary protocols and approved by the FDA. Now, the constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you fresh breath, whitens your teeth, reduces dental plaques, prevents cavity, and makes your gum healthy and strong. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from age 6. Get a pack at your local supermarket today. Now, it is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Please call them on 0246 864 798 or 050 145 4462. Kel Charcoal toothpaste, happy smile. Many thanks to the Christian Service University. Now, they are admitting students for the 2026-2027 academic year. For over 50 years, Christian Service University, they have trained ethical and visionary leaders who are making a difference in Ghana and abroad. Apply now for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs, including their flagship Doctor of Ministry in Christian Leadership and Management. Gain holistic education grounded in Christian values with opportunities in scholarships, entrepreneurship, and employability for a better future. Locate Christian Service University at Star Junction, Sintasi, or log on to www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU, the university of choice. Many thanks to Jackson University College. Now, they offer master's programs in English and maths, education, guidance and counseling, and educational leadership, as well as administration. They also offer bachelor, post-diploma, and postgraduate programs in education. So you can sign up for their short IT courses and digital marketing, software engineering, cybersecurity, web development, and data analytics, and more. Call Jackson University now on 020-126-0290. That is 020-126-0290. Patricia is having in her hands those bags, and they always contain something beautiful, attractive, and nice.
Very, very beautiful inside. Are you ready to win my gifts? Yes. Are you ready to win special gifts from Samara Company Limited? Yes. Okay, so if you are ready to win, just show by hand. Wave your Kel Chaco toothpaste, the miniature one. Please. Hey, Matis or Obisu Omwedi. Please, it's not food though. It's not food. You put it on your toothbrush and you brush your teeth with it day and night. Please, do we all understand? Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. And you know that definitely when it gets to this point, then it's the Kel Chaco toothpaste minutes, where call me Mama Kel now, I get to give you very beautiful things. And first question, are we ready? Yes. Are we ready for the first question? Yes. Okay. So, question 1. Rebecca, I've contacted WAEC for this question. So question 1 is, and it comes 2 in 1. In fact, all my friends, you were here last week, right? Yes. Ibadur Rahman, you were also here last week. New Edubiase, you were here last week. Opoku Ware, you were here last week. Okay, so one person should walk up to me and tell me what Kel Chaco toothpaste has done for him or her ever since they started using it. Please clap for the person who is coming. I have a big bag for that person. The gentleman from Sahus is coming. Venato. Hey, I feel like, bruh, should I stand on this chair or what? Okay, you come closer to me. Let's have this conversation. So, tell me the beautiful things Kel Chaco toothpaste has done for you ever since you started using it.
Okay. Kel Chaco gives healthy gums.
Please,
we can't hear you.
For me and speak loudly for us, okay? Everybody's listening to you on radio and watching you on TV.
It freshens our teeth and also give us nice smile and also healthy.
Hello. The first answer, no, examiner. Rebecca is she has a marking scheme, so should I give him another chance? Yes. Hey, but this one is one attempt because there are plenty of you here. Please, let's have another person. Just stand here for me.
Patricia, let's have another person so he can share a bag with that person. So this beautiful
lady is coming from.
A round of applause for the lady.
Oh, please.
A round of applause for the lady. All right. What has Kel Chaco toothpaste done for you?
Yeah, we give it to you every time you come here. Yeah.
It has whitened my teeth and given me a fresh breath.
Oh.
Isn't that lovely? Okay, let me give you this beautiful bag from Samara Company Limited. Yes, know that you also produce Sasso insecticide spray. Please clap for her. Oh, you are not happy for her.
So what are we going to do with the gentleman?
For my friend here, I'll give him exercise books. Hello, brother.
Patricia, for my sake, let's just give him the small bag.
Okay,
please.
So Becca has said some for you. Later, please clap for him, eh?
And clap for me also. Clap for me too. If you don't clap well, I'll take back the bag.
Okay, so what Kel Chaco toothpaste does for everybody? She says it's whitening her teeth and giving her a fresh breath. Anybody else? Anybody else? No, the people here, you are not part. You are terms and conditions. The people behind me, you are terms and conditions. You don't apply. Please, anybody else with a different answer? Chairman, you are on my line. Go and sit at the back and come.
Okay, so we have a gentleman from Opoku Ware School.
Okay, so Kateche, please come and let's have your answer.
Round of applause for him.
Okay. Hey, no, Edubiase, are you here? You are waiting for the second question, eh? Okay, no problem. Boss, what's your name?
My name is Osajifo.
Is that the name in your cumulative record? Full name, please.
Osajifo Adeka.
Okay, Osajifo Adeka. So tell me, the rest of the things that Kel Charcoal toothpaste does for everybody when we use it in the morning and in the afternoon and evening.
It has provided my gum and then it has protected my cavities.
Examiner, this one there, 1/5. This one there, 1/5. One attempt. Hey, anybody from New Edubiase? New Edubiase, please come. Hey, please clap for the gentleman from New Edubiase. Hey, and whilst at it, please, the patrons get ready. My dear, Osadifu, wait. My dear patrons, please get ready. It's going to be your turn very, very soon. Boss, please, what's your name too?
My name is Answer Justice.
And you are?
The WDS president for the...
President is here, so President has all the answers. I want to believe so. So tell me, last week you came, we gave you Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Today too, we've given you Kel Charcoal toothpaste. The one that you used last week, what did it do for you? Apart from whitening your teeth and giving you fresher breath.
Okay, so I used to have gum problems, and with this, I can...
A round of applause for him. That is the power of Kel Charcoal toothpaste.
Hey, please, one other property. You cannot go with the first one.
And secondly, it has made me extra famous in my school. They now call me Orlando Kel.
Patricia, I think we just landed ourselves a student ambassador for Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Orlando Kel. Orlando Kel.
Becca, this is what I'm going to do. So the two of them are going to share whatever beautiful thing they find in this bag. So please clap for New Edubiase and the gentleman from Opoku Ware.
A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. Let's clap for them. Let's clap for them.
Okay, so patrons, are we ready? Patrons, are we ready?
Patrons, are you ready?
Okay, so the next question that is going out to the patrons is...
Silence, please.
When you go to the market, there are different sizes for Kel Charcoal toothpaste.
Okay.
Please, this question is also 2 in 1. What are those grams and what company produces Kel Charcoal toothpaste? Patrons alone. I've seen students raising their hands.
Patrons alone.
Patrons alone. Or are patrons now wearing
So we have a gentleman behind you and a lady as well.
Okay, please come. Patron, let's clap for her as she's coming.
Let's bring the two of them. So one will answer the first set and the other the second set.
Oh, let's keep clapping. Oh, they won't answer it correctly. Boss, are you a patron? Okay. These two people, I'll give them one back if they get it right. Let me tell them even before they get it. So, madam, please, the answer to my question.
Samara group of companies. And then the sizes. We have the 150 gram and the 80 gram.
Oh, please clap for her. Clap for Auntie. Okay, so she gets this very beautiful bag from Samara Company Limited where we keep quality first. Please clap for her. You can go and share it. Now the very last question. Boss, the bag is one. Thank you. Boss, Rebecca, please let me do the final question.
At this point, just give him the final question and
let me give you the final question. Because the way you are doing there, I know say you can answer it. So, you know Samara Company Limited, like your sister said, they have a lot of products. Apart from Kel Kits, Kel 360, Kel Charcoal toothpaste, Sasso, insecticide spray, and also Sasso mosquito coil. Give me 2 other products from Samara Company Limited. You give me the answer first before you say it into the microphone. Tell me in my ears. And which one again? Which other product? You are giving me 2 products. Any bag no. Okay. Oh, okay, so let's listen to the first answer. What's that product, please?
Roma insecticide spray.
And what is the tagline for Roma insecticide spray?
And Tonton Master.
Hey, send that bed, you take it and go away. Yes, so Roma insecticide spray, and of course Roma mosquito coil and Tonto Master. Remember to also get Sasso insecticide spray and coil as well, Sasso Kum and Tonton Preco. But ultimately, make sure that you are getting yourself Kel Charcoal toothpaste from any supermarket today. It is very, very affordable. It's FDA approved and it's been produced in Ghana by Samara Company Limited. Find them in Kumasi at Dunkirk, right opposite the washing bay at the place, and also find them in Accra at plot 144 Sasso Street at Drinkano East Legon. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. The rest of them are not smiling, Rebecca. Kel Charcoal toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Okay.
All right. How many of us love kinky? How many of us love gari? How many of us love banku? Rice. Gobe. If you love gobe, hands up. I would have sent all of you away because this is my favorite food. And how many of you love shito? You all love shito. Because you all love shito, I'm going to give everybody a pack of Didi Shito. When I say Didi Shito, you say homemade taste. Didi Shito. Didi Shito. Didi Shito. So when you're going back to school and your parents ask you, do you want shito? Tell them, yes, I want shito, but not just any shito. But what? But what? A round of applause for yourselves. You have been an amazing audience. And again, would like to say a very big thank you to all of our sponsors. Samara Company Limited would like to say a very big thank you. For Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, Christian Service University for blessing us with this beautiful auditorium. We say thank you. Didishito as well. Jackson Educational College, JM Ado and Sons. New Generation Investment Services, Seppo Mystical Original Pen. Bigo and Verna Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited. We say thank you also to Otua Sekai Community Bank, Orion Cyrus Publications, Franzacos Limited for bringing us Rizogari, The Sea Travels, Tamak, Broadway Christian Academy, Best Brain Publications, Amante Community Bank, St. Benjuri, and Better Malt. We say a very big thank you. How many of you are also ready to listen to some of the comments I picked up on social media? Are you ready? Are you ready? When I ask, are you ready? I want to hear you say, ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so Abbas says, despite the fact that the boys yesterday disappointed us, our hope is in you, Owas. Good day. Another one says, Prince Curry, your mates are looking up to you, especially CF 650 and CF 543. Wishing you all the best. Nana Tofor says, Curry is the Love FM High School debate GOAT. Global Leader says, this is how debate is done, not rattling. They should declare OWAS winners already. Your Majesty says, new Edubiase really prepared for OWAS. OWAS's principal speaker is eloquent though, but his accent is not meant for debate. Malu says, this is a clear win for OWAS. Hesse Boy says, okay, go ahead. Hesse Boy says, Alberta and Samira, you do all. They know Casablanca says, Ose Ibas. Ibrahim Seidu says, St. Hubert is winning. Mr. Backbone says, Sahus all the way. Victor Ajekum says, 3 cities to start a business. Ose Sahus. Murphy Forever says, I think Ibas is winning today. Mika says, Ibas, confidence with eloquence and evidence. Go there. Nana Tufor says, you know new Edubiase deviated, right? But good luck to them anyway. Mansour says, Ibadur Rahman all the way. In fact, you are making Aswasi constituency very proud. Ethan says, the girls are too good, hands down. Nana Tufor says, Gilbert, speak audibly, please, for Santase boys are claiming victory today. Girl like Salama says, the nobles did it all. Kwabena Ethan also says, Sahus are only given punchlines. Where are your evidences and facts? Muffy says, looking at the Sahus guys' facial expression, it shows they have already lost. Nasara says, the girls are better than the boys. Young boy Calvin says, Sahus and Owas are going home today. The girls are just too good. Dream Chaser also says, all the way to Ibas, all the way. And then Collins finally says, my uncle came from abroad, but he didn't bring anything. So are we making it at home or abroad? Home or abroad? Home or abroad? Make some noise if you've had a good time. Make some noise. You have been an amazing audience. And now I just want one school to heat up the auditorium. Which school is ready to heat up the auditorium? Ibas, are you ready to heat up the auditorium? Owas, are you ready to heat up the auditorium? You can't heat up the auditorium. Sahus, are you ready? On your feet. On your feet. You have just 2 minutes. Hot Jama, heat up the auditorium for us. Are you ready? All right. Sahus, over to you. Sahus, for your sake, I hope it was a prayer and a blessing. None of us understand Latin. Doc, do you understand Latin? You do. It's our Father. Hallelujah. A round of applause for the gentleman from Sahus. A round of applause. You can do better for them. Please, when we say clap, we really need you to clap. We really need you to clap. New Edubiase, are you in the building? Are you in the building? Can you heat up the atmosphere for us? No. Why, where's your energy? What do you mean no? On your feet. What do you mean no? You can't say no. On your feet. All right, a minute of Jama from you. When you're ready, you let me know.
All right, so thank you very much, Ebusia, for. Thank you. You know, one thing that excites me the most is the fact that when we come in here into this beautiful auditorium, we sit back and we listen to the debaters. They always impress us. They always wow us. We always learn from them. They make us sometimes even laugh. Please put your hands together for the debaters. And on behalf of the organizers of the Love FM Kel Chaco Toothpaste High School debate, we say thank you very much to all the debaters for a great job done. We started this competition some 8 days ago with the preliminary stage. This week we began with the round of 16. We end the round of 16 tomorrow, 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Now, our lead judge would always say to you that we have the majority decision to adjudge a winner, and then we have the unanimous decision. One thing that we never averse our mind to has happened today. Let me explain. So in one of the competitions that was held today, a school won based on the highest score they got. What I mean is this. We have 3 judges. One school won from a judge, the other 2 won from the other judge, and then there was a draw from one other judge. You understand? So the school with the highest score or the highest mark is the one that has won. So let me run you through the results right now. Now the first competition for the day was between Opoku Ware School and New Edubiase Senior High School. For your contest, the winner was based on a majority decision, which means 2 judges scored for the winning school, not a unanimous, majority decision. Opoku Ware School, your results, and I will begin with organization and clarity. You got 26 from one of our judges, 27 from another, and 25 from the other judge as well. 26, 27, 25 sums up to 78. Opoku Ware School, when it came to argument and development, the judge gave you 25, another gave 24, the last judge gave 24 as well. 25, 24, 24 sums up to 73. Let's now talk about effective use of rebuttal and the scores or the marks that you got. You got 7 from one of our judges, 4 from the other, and then 10 from the other judge. So 7, 4, 10 sums up to 21. Presentation style, you got 13 from a judge, 13 from another, and then 11 from the final or the last judge. 13, 13, 11 sums up to 37 for Opoku Ware School. Now roll as a particular debater, you got 9 from one of our judges, 9 from another judge. The final judge gave 8. 9, 9, 8 sums up to 26. So let's put them all together. 78, 73, 21, 37, 26 sums up to 235 for Opoku Ware School. Now we move on to New Edubiase Senior High School. Organization clarity, you got 24 from one of our judges, 19 from another, and again 24 from the other judge. 24, 19, 24 sums up to 67. Argument and development, you got 23 from a judge, 19 from another, and then 24 from the final judge. 23, 19, 24 sums up to 66. New Edubiase, when it came to effective use of rebuttal, you got 7 from one of our judges, the other gave you 3, the last judge gave you 11. 7, 3, 11 sums up to 21. Presentation style, New Edubiase, you got 10 from a judge, 10 from another, and 15 from the other judge. 10, 10, 15 sums up to 35. Role as a particular debater, New Edubiase, you got 8 from a judge, again another 8 from another judge, and then 9 from the final judge. 8, 8, 9 sums up to 25. Let's put it together. 67, 66, 21, 35, 25 sums up to 214. So by a majority decision, Opoku Ware School advances to the next stage of the competition. Akateche, 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 we will see you at the quarterfinals. But please, before then, stand up and celebrate your victory. Whether you will give us a chance, whether you be singing your school anthem, it's over to you. But whatever it is, do your celebration now within 2 minutes. 1, 2, go.
Ibadur
Well, congratulations to Opoku Ware School, to New Edubiase Senior High School. Listen, be proud of yourselves. Hold your head up high. You gave a very good account of yourselves. Please put your hands together for yourselves, and we hope to see you next year. The second contest of the day, that was the sixth contest at the round of 16, was between St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School and Ibadur Rahman Academy. Now your results. For St. Hubert, organizational clarity got 23 from one of our judges, 26 from another, and another 26 from the other judge. So 23, 26, 26 sums up to 75. St. Hubert, argument and development, you got 24 from one of our judges, the other gave you 26, the final judge gave 25. 24, 26, 25 sums up to 75. Effective use of rebuttal, St. Hubert, you got 8 from a judge, 9 from a judge, and then 10 from another judge. So 8, 9, 10 sums up to 27. When it came to presentation style, you got 12 from a judge, 13 from a judge, and then 12 from another judge. So 12, 13, 12 sums up to 37. Role as a particular debater, St. Hubert, you got 8 from a judge, 8 from the second judge, 9 from the third judge. 8, 8, 9 sums up to 25. Let's put them together. 75, 75, 27, 37, 25 sums up to 239. Ibadur Rahman, let me go through it the same way. Same style. Organizational clarity, Ibadur Rahman, you got 27 from a judge, 22 from a judge, 26 from another judge, sums up to 75. 27, 22, 26 sums up to 75. Argument and development, Ibadur Rahman, you got 23 from one of our judges, another gave you 23, the final judge gave 26. 23, 23, 26 sums up to 72. Effective use of rebuttal, Ibadur Rahman, you got 9 from a judge, 12 from a judge, 8 from a judge, 9, 12, 8 sums up to 29. Presentation style, you got 10 from one of our judges, the other gave you 10, the other one gave you 14, 10, 11 sums up to 34. Role as a particular debater, you got 8 from one of our judges, 7 from one, and then 8 from the other. 8, 7, 8 sums up to 23. So let's put it together. 75, 72, 29, 34, 29 sums up to 233. So with the highest score, St. Hubert advances to the next stage of the competition. So you got 239, they got 233. We say congratulations to St. Hubert Seminary Senior High School. To Ibadur Rahman, listen. Hold your head up high. That's the very first time you're joining the Love FM High School debate, and trust me, you've given a very good account of yourselves. We hope that you've learnt a lot. We hope that you gather the experience. Join us next year and then make your school prouder. Thank you so much. Say, Hubert, stand on your feet and celebrate your victory this afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much, David. And so we have come to the end of proceedings for today. That's the end of contest 5 and contest 6 of the round of 16 of the Love FM Kelchako Chief Pace High School's debate here at the Christian Service University. And at the end of it all, Opoku Ware School and St. Hubert Seminary have gotten the chance to be at the final stage of this competition. And I have in my shots right now the whole squad from Opoku Ware right now. And let me start off with the debate. Yes, and how are you, Prince?
I'm very happy.
How are you feeling after this victory again?
I heard one person say that Owas is going to be science in one speaking. Owas is coming for every trophy this year, every trophy for the Super Champs.
Okay, so Owas is coming for every trophy. Let me go to Sarah, who was the principal speaker for Opoku Ware School. Yesterday, your brothers from Prempeh College were taken out by Church of Christ Senior High School. Are you ready for a school like Church of Christ?
I'm ready for every school like that.
Okay, and what is the plan for the quarterfinal stage?
We just stick to our script that has gotten us far. The same way, the same method we use, and we win everything that comes against us.
Okay, so what's saying to win everything that comes their way? Let me speak to this beautiful lady. She's one of the trainers at Opoku Ware School. You always come after they win. Why?
Because when the contest is about to start, like as a trainer, you're also tensed. So you don't want to be making mistakes in front of them. But after everything, when you win, you can come back and come and make noise.
What do you want to tell your friends from, please come closer, let's have this conversation. What do you want to tell your friends from New Edubiase Senior High School?
They shouldn't worry. They have done well. They shouldn't worry. They should go and prepare next time and come and meet Akatachie. Thank you very much.
Okay, they should prepare well and come and meet Akateche. And please come and share something with us before everything ends here at the Christian Service University.
Well, the good news is this is not the end of the road. There is still more room for improvement. And as we have stated earlier, we are here to make our mark. So they should still continue to watch out.
Okay, so tomorrow we are going to see contest 7 and contest 8 of the Love FM Kel Chaco Toothpaste High School's debate. That is the round of 16 competition so far. But for now, let's say thank you to the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Ghana Education Service, the Conference of Assistants.
Toothpaste High School's debate is in partnership with the Ashanti Regional SRC, Shs,